episode for me.
You are listening to the Lucha Central Podcast Network. And now, LuchaCentral.com presents Masks, Mats, and Mayhem.
I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Welcome to another edition of Masks, Mats, and Mayhem. I am your host, Justin Outlaw Harvey. You can find me on social media at JustinHarvey75. You can, in fact, find the entire show on social media at MMMshow75. And Meatloaf is right. I should, it's not just a welcome to the MMM show, it's welcome to the 200th episode of the MMM show. Almost 10 years in the making, which is funny because if we had done the show 52 weeks a year for 10 years, like we were supposed to, we'd be well over 100. In fact, I believe Keeping It 100 is on what, episode 452 now, and they started 4 months after us. Really? So we should be further along than this, Byron. What happened? What did you do? What did you do wrong?
What did I do wrong? I guess we were well, your question. I was too inspiring and created too many other wrestling podcasts,
right? And
oversaturated the market. And since I'm also very smart about marketing and market saturation and other things like those words, I figured it was better to make it more scarce and more valuable. So that's what I did when we only did like an average after the first run of like 10 episodes a year.
However, I will say, if our episodes were always supposed to only be an hour, we technically would be on about 3,000 episodes now. If we do that,
we've done about 3,000 hours.
I like your Steiner math. I think that works. I tend to believe that. And Tony, you luckily have been here when the show has been just a robust 2-hour program, I believe. That we plan to be an hour. It's been 2 hours every time, right?
Yeah, I'm just happy to be here. Hey, everybody, Tony Allen, TonyST.Allen on social media. You can find me there. Just happy to be here with you guys. This is my third show, so I'm excited. Not as excited as you guys because this is your 200th episode.
Well, you didn't have to suffer. You are the actual present. Yeah. I think we are giving ourselves the present of having your presence now and wishing that we had it the whole time so that maybe we would have stayed more on track. But that's a whole other show.
Yeah, we would probably be millionaires by now. But yeah, if we had a professional, one of us.
You didn't have to suffer through listening to Casey talk about whatever it was he talked about. It was really awful. Casey was
what are you talking about? Casey was the best part of the show.
Casey was on wrestling.
Yeah, Casey was the one who actually knew things, Byron.
Yeah,
we're supposed to know stuff.
Goatse, appreciate you. This guy, Goatse, has been with us for a long time as a viewer and listener. We appreciate you. We also appreciate our newer listeners, Brent, coming over here to see his favorite, and we'll get to that shortly. And I will say, look, over the years, we've had a lot of great guests. We had Santos Escobar. We've had Kevin Cross. We've had Famous B. We've had Drago. We've had, Jesus Christ, who am I forgetting?
Sonny Kiss.
A million. Sonny Kiss was, okay, and that's a big one. I'll get to that in a second. We've also had, who?
Arhennis.
Oh, yeah, Arhennis.
We had Arhennis.
We've had just a ton of great guests.
Vampiro.
Conan. We've had Vampiro. We've also had all of the various showrunners of Lucha Underground minus Fogelman. We had Eric Van Wagenen. We had Chris Roach, Krista Joseph, and we even had Skip Chasen, the guy who directed all those lovely vignettes that everybody loves so much.
That is, but Skip Chasen and Justin were pulling the thing there because they've never seen them in the same room together.
I'm not Skip Chasen.
You are.
I mean, Conan I could be. Conan might think that is true, but he smokes a lot. Anyway, so we've had a lot of great guests. For a while, Eric Van Wagenen was our number one guest. So, of course, we asked him to come back. Then he was eclipsed by Sonny Kiss, and Sonny Kiss did huge, huge numbers. But no one has done the numbers that our guest tonight that we brought into the show has done. The third time we interviewed this particular guest did ridiculous numbers, especially on Facebook, because the Latino market caught on to it, and it was all about her immigration, and she was fighting MMA at the time and was a world champion for NWA once we last spoke to her on this program. And that interview did like 80, 90,000 views. It was ridiculous. So, of course, being this is the 200th episode, why not bring back our number one best guest, friend of the show, and favorite person to have on, Lucha Underground's reigning trios champion, Cobra Moon, also known as Thunder Rosa.
Hello.
Tacos.
Hello. Yeah. Hello. I still have
We're
the.
gonna make you big. How about that? Big.
I still have the Cobra Moon mask somewhere.
That's right.
Do
She
you?
wore it to a Tigres game in Mexico.
Actually, I do. It's right here. Hold on.
Wait, you got to bring that. First of all, you're a thief. Because I know how hard it is to get any kind of
Original. This
prop.
is the original mask that I wore on the last 2 seasons that I was there. So,
Shouldn't say
Holy
these things.
crap.
I have that, and I have the headpieces in the back right there.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have the
I took
jacket?
No, I could not get the
Mel was a
jacket.
smart
Like, no, this one because I made it, and as you can see, if anybody can say that I'm lying, I'm not. It has like makeup from all the makeup that I was wearing.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you had that
Yeah.
one made for yourself. Prop department didn't make that one?
No, this one I made at 3. I lost the hair because I used to wear a ponytail. I lost that. That's gone. That's trash. So,
But that's different from the one that I mentioned. Then it's not the same because the other one has a lot more stuff.
the other one is the ones that we made in Mexico to
okay.
just like wear or whatever. But this is the original. This is the original Lucha
nice.
Underground mask that I used at Lucha Underground. So
I think you and Ricky Banderas might be the only people that actually have your actual Lucha Underground masks.
well,
And it probably
it's
still
because
does.
it's because we got them done for ourselves. Like we paid for them.
Right.
We don't know
Well,
the
Penta
IP,
had
but
all of his masks until Meatloaf bought most of them.
No, no, no.
Probably.
I didn't buy too many from Lucha Underground. I wasn't. In
Oh,
that
you
one.
didn't?
No, because I didn't get to see him in person, so like I didn't really entertain that. I just was.
And I think I have some original artwork too from some of the fans that sent me this stuff when I was working there too on this side. I mean, I still have a lot of stuff from Lucha. What's up, Brent? You're not gonna die because I was thinking about you today. That's my man right there, Brent. Yeah, it's a lot that's happened since Lucha Underground happened. And the funny thing is I work with pretty much everybody that was working at Lucha Underground at one point in my career or another. You know, so that's a funny part.
Well, we went back a couple weeks ago and we watched that last trios match, and it was super weird to like see you in the ring with like Sammy Guevara and Kevin Cross and just like that whole crazy match. And who was the champion with you at the time? It was
Saga?
Jeremiah Crane, the other?
No.
Sammy
Callahan, yeah, Jeremiah.
Callahan.
Crane at the time.
What's it? No,
Drago had already turned back.
Not
to
Drago.
the
No,
other-
no. It starts with Daga. Daga and I.
Daga.
Yeah.
Daga and I.
What a
yeah.
crazy throw. But just to think that like you walked out of that place with a belt with those two people as your partner in a company where you were basically at that point a manager and just wrestling the boys. Were you even
Yes.
in a storyline that last season with another woman at all?
No.
Reclusive, what happened? And then,
No, I was not with Reclusa. I was not with I was never with the okay, now since it's been so long, I always had a very interesting relationship with the women that worked there for various reasons. So
Well, come on. We all know that you and Eva Lisa are great friends.
we're like this. like this. Tony's laughing. Tony's laughing. No, God bless her heart. I hope she's doing well.
I will have to get in the way of this conversation if it gets crazy.
Look,
I'm just saying.
No.
Everybody
Byron's
knows
girlfriend.
I got
No,
love for
no.
Evie too. We got love for
I have
Evie.
nothing bad to say about Evilise, but I hope she's doing well. I hope that she is happy and she found happiness in whatever she's doing. You know, whatever is in the past. When we were in Lucha Underground, we were actually friends, believe it or not. And when she got injured, like I went to the hospital with her and I stayed with her until she got out and everything. And I checked in with her and I was like, because he was pretty messed up, you know, like everybody seemed to have a very interesting relationship with her at Lucha Underground. I became really good friends with Sexy during that time. Taya was more when she started dating Johnny. So she was always Johnny. So I will always be with Sexy, Drago. Who else? I don't know. It was like different people because we used to go to the rooftop and hang out over there after the shows. That was fun.
What was the name of that hotel, Byron? The
Checkers.
Right.
Hilton. In Hilton.
The Checkers.
But it was the Checkers Hilton.
Yeah, in downtown LA.
And it had fun. This small little upstairs outside pool that had like a bunch of chairs that people would just sit around.
Yes, it was tiny.
A cool little area.
Yeah, it was nice. I remember the last day. The parties, the season parties were always really fun. That's where I think you and I and Byron and who else? Jimmy was there, right? On the last one. That things things got out of control. That was pretty wild party.
Yeah, except everybody left me talking to Jake Hager for like an hour because he had no friends.
Oh, Jake.
You guys all abandoned me with the reigning Lucha Underground champion, Jake Hager.
I talked to you guys for like 30 minutes. I remember for that party.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Marty at that party too, all wrapped up, still bleeding. And they wanted to take him to the hospital because he said no class. And
it was like the matches that we had there were absolutely crazy. I would have, the funny thing is like I learned a lot from those matches that later on I did some of those crazy matches on national TV too. So it was kind of fun because I learned from the best. I guess Penta was still there. Animo, Phoenix was still there in AEW. So I always asked them for questions when I was doing like extreme matches because they did a lot of that stuff when we were in Lucha Underground, also when they were in the Indies.
So I got to tell you, one of my favorite experiences of this entire year, to let everybody in on a little inside information, I helped Thunder Rosa out with a taco vlog when we were in LA not that long ago with Dante Martin, which you guys should all go and watch, by the way, because Frontman Ja and Dante Martin are very interesting guys.
Hilarious.
So we were going to eat tacos with them. And on the way, Thunder's driving. I'm like filming stuff for these guys. They're chopping it up. And we were going to Boyle Heights to eat the tacos. Like, come on, you can't go to Boyle Heights and not go to one very specific place. So we went to the temple and we get there and the place is straight up open. And I'm just like, Thunder looks back at me and then Dante's like, I don't know what the hell is going on right now. And I'm just like, go in. And she goes in and literally we got to go back into the temple this year and just looked around the place and film. It's on her vlog. Like go on her YouTube, guys, and go back and watch that vlog and watch the Dante Martin and Frontman Ja taco vlog. But for me, that was just like a flood of memories came back. And so I'm wondering if you can share what that was like for you and what Lucha Underground, what kind of space that occupies in your head now when you think back to 10 years ago now when Lucha Underground started. It's the 10th anniversary of Lucha Underground.
I think it was the best and the worst. Like the best is like your first opportunity on TV, like your major contract, getting paid like the ridiculous amount of money that we used to get paid. And I'm not saying because some of us didn't get paid a lot of money to do some of the crazy shit that we were doing. The ridiculous stuff on the contracts, and it's just crazy. Like that's one. Two, the learning experience at Lucha Underground was tremendous. I don't think if I would have if I wouldn't been part of that specific time in that specific era in professional wrestling, I wouldn't be where I am right now, because he forced me to be better than I was, because I was with excellent, like in the presence of excellence. I mean, you're talking about Rey Mysterio, Ricochet when he was at his peak in the indies. Jesus, you know, you have Drago, you have Aerostar, you have, you know, all these people that have so much. Chavo and his father were there. Who else?
Right.
Like
His dad was there too, which was amazing. I got to meet his dad.
I got to meet his dad, they were wonderful people. Rest in peace. Who else? I mean, you have Brian Cage when he was at his hottest, Willie Mack. Oh my God, so many people. So many
Paul
people.
London.
Fox.
Paul London, yes, Fox.
Oh, Paul London.
Strickland.
Little Cholo.
Oh, Little Cholo. Shout out to Little Cholo. Mariachi Loc, who's my homie. Who's
Love those
wearing a
guys.
singlet now, is funny. Never mind.
Is he wearing a singlet
Yes,
now?
he's wearing a
Mhm.
singlet. He's wearing a
Why?
singlet.
Is it the dad belly? What
We
happened?
all gained a little bit of weight. Let's put it that way. I was very thin at the time that I was doing Lucha Underground. I was 119 pounds when I started, and then season 4, I was 125. I was ripped. I had an 8-pack at the time. I remember. I worked my ass off for that. I mean, there were so many people. I mean, who else?
Wait. Well, hold on. You had an 8-pack the last season, Lucha, but you were wearing a 1-piece then too, weren't you?
No, I was wearing a 2-piece.
No.
Oh, that's right. You did. You split it to the 2-piece, but it was pants.
You don't even remember. You don't even watch it. Like a lot of
It was.
people.
I mean,
You're at every taping.
it's only at every
Not
tape.
paying attention.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I haven't watched any of that. I gotta say.
It was
To be
a
fair,
good-
I'm
it
the
was a
nerd
good
about the
season.
gear.
It was a very good season because we had to do a lot of cool shit. But yeah, I mean, it was like everybody was very hungry. I mean, Taya was coming from AAA. Sexy Star was like pushed to the moon, you know, and like we learned how to work TV at that time. And it was like sink or swim. And you guys were there when I fucking sunk. So
Let's talk about it, because I was going to ask. Let's get into it. So let me set the table for this just a little bit.
Yeah.
We were all very proud of Melissa from the very beginning, because as Thunder Rosa, she got into the character. There were obviously people there who had been wrestling a lot longer than her, but that wasn't why I think the crowd got behind her. The crowd got behind her because she put something into this character, the way she was slithering around on the ropes and doing this stuff. And it was like, if you had seen any of her other work from Japan or Indies or whatever, like this was a whole new thing that she was thrown into, put under a hood. And she did not wrestle as a luchadora in Mexico or anything. She came from American Indies and Japanese wrestling. So to come in and basically be told, you're a luchadora, here's your hood, get out there and act like a snake, is a whole nother ball game. So we always had love and appreciation for that. But we also, as fans, we knew how smart and how well Lucha Underground was protecting certain people, Ricochet, because the promo skills were not always the best.
No.
And one day, the Reptile Tribe, who you got to be the leader of, like they'd taken Thunder Rosa right off the Indies and doing Japanese stuff and just saying, not only are we going to just give you like 5 or 6 matches, but now we're giving you a whole faction and a whole Aztec mythology backstory, and you're like a god that's leading this tribe, and now you're basically the manager, and you have to wrestle men all the time. Merry Christmas. Oh, and by the way, we're going to take one of our guys who was in WWE for like 7 years and could cut a promo on anybody, and we're going to write a promo battle for you in the middle of the temple with all these bloodthirsty drunk clowns over here right at your back.
No.
So poor Thunder Rosa is standing there at the foot of the steps to the temple, right by the bleachers. She's maybe 3 feet away from me and Byron. And Johnny Mundo and the whole Worldwide Underground faction with Taya and all those guys is in the ring. He does a little bit of his setup part, and poor Thunder comes out to do her part. And I'll let you take it from here.
They gave me one full page of stuff to memorize the same day. And Tony knows how bad I am about memorizing shit. Like it takes me years. And that's one thing as an actor is now I have to work on forever. And I think that's what kind of traumatized me forever. I don't know why, like just you like a bad taste in my mouth. Like they gave me that, and usually they give us the stuff like a week before, so we have time to like, you know, memorize it, go over the lines and everything. On the third line, I went blank, and I'm like line, and then fucking Johnny's ripping me a full asshole.
Oh,
in
in
3
front of all
assholes,
of us,
in front of
mercilessly
everybody.
ribbing you.
No, it was. I mean, he was trying to help so I can remember some of the stuff, which I did, and then like later on post production they help. But what happened during that thing is that I was already having issues because people did not want me there because I was new. They always made me feel that I didn't belong because I was new and I wasn't a luchadora, and there was 50,000 other luchadoras in Mexico, which probably were skill wise 100 times better than me. But what, you know, Chris Joseph saw in me, all the other girls didn't have. So that's a big difference. I had the it factor. They like it or not. So I got traumatized. I remember like I went to the back crying. Like I wanted to like just quit because it was awful. It was one of the most obnoxious, embarrassing things that has happened in my career. I mean, there's a lot
No,
more,
it was
but
brutal.
that was
It
one.
was
It was
terrible. Like
horrible.
we
Until-
felt
no, I'm
really
kidding,
bad
I'm
for
kidding.
you. Like really, like, oh my God, is she ever going to be seen in public ever again? It was.
And you
that
know
bad.
what? And now I work for Busted Open, for Off the Ropes. I have 3 other podcasts myself. I go out there and do public speaking in English and Spanish so everybody can kiss my Mexican ass. So and I cut some badass promos on AEW, which by the way you can watch there. Collision. Thank you, Justin Royd, a couple of them for me. But yeah, I just like, it taught me a lot. It taught me that it doesn't matter what room you come in, you have to come in confident. And if you come with a presence, because that's what I came with a presence and with a something that they were looking for and they were missing. And I think I aced it, and people remember Cobra Moon. And and like you said, when people figure out that that's me, they're like, wow, I didn't know. And I have fans that have been following me since I was Cobra Moon. So that's pretty cool.
Well, we're in that batch, but I mean, a lot of people really still don't know that you were Cobra Moon from Lucha Underground. Either they didn't watch it, or they just didn't know, or they didn't see that transition when you came out from underneath the hood. And also, you were under the hood as Serpentine in WoW.
Oh, it was the most ridiculous thing I ever done in my life. I remember like they let me come up with the idea of the backstory of Serpentine. I remember they come up with a promo. I was like, I pull it on it was the most ridiculous, outrageous thing I've came up with. I was like, you look like I was high, but I wasn't high. I was just like, I'm just gonna see what I can get away with, and I got away with a lot. So and I know that and Tony, we've been asked to bring Serpentine back to life recently.
Yeah, it was. There were some talks there, but unfortunately, this time it's not something I would like to see.
Serpentine, the comic book.
I would like to see Cobra Moon. Like I didn't get to experience that part, right? Like so, I would like to see that. I would like to see Serpentine. Like I think those other characters, I mean, it's other personalities you can bring out. As we have learned, she can pretty much do all kinds of stuff. Like what you do in the last match, that's another character you can embody too. So for me, it would be very interesting. When I meet fans, the Lucha Underground fans, and then we have a conversation, and they realize what we do and stuff, they get mad at me because I have not watched like Lucha Underground. Like they seriously get physically agitated. I'm like, okay, relax, man. I have a lot of things to do. But
You haven't
yes,
seen it?
I have not watched the whole thing, buddy. Come on.
Why?
Because I have a life.
Tony,
and I have
Tony,
to
to
manage
explain-
people and
Oh.
stuff.
To
We're
explain
not
Lucha Underground the
talking right now.
best,
I'm going
a guy in
on
England.
the like 4th episode. It's actually a lot of TV to watch.
What were you saying?
It's an
Yeah, I
hour
see that.
long.
Yeah,
Oh, I wanna hear what Meek
relax,
was
Byron.
saying.
I
Okay.
will get to it.
Okay,
Bloody
so
mute that
basically,
guy.
the best
Anyway,
way, best way
they
to
shouldn't
explain
make you sync the promo. You somehow seem to remember songs easier.
Oh, songs is easier than
That's a
than
crazy
promos.
thing that you can remember songs that easy.
Because there's a melody to it, and with this there's no melody. It's like it's hard. I mean, and also like my English back in the 10 years ago was not as good as it is now. It wasn't. Like my
That's true.
accent was thicker. Like it was a lot harder to. It's been a long road. I can say I've been successfully achieve a lot of things after that.
What were you going to say before, Meef?
I was just going to say the best way to explain it to Tony about Lucha Underground, effectively a cult. I'm a guy from a very small part of England, right? And everything that's happened in my life because of this show. These guys above me have been my friends for 10 years. There's people I would never have met in my entire life, Mel included.
What about
obviously.
me, love? Okay, like
Yeah,
we
so
met in London, and you brought me baby food. Okay, the best baby food I ever had in my life.
Oh, that's right, because he had no teeth.
Yeah, do you like allow me to survive for another 3 weeks with that baby food? It was delicious.
It's such good stuff. It's what I give the kids at the time. But yeah, like the whole thing with it became so massive and so whatever. Like people became friends with people from Japan, from Mexico, from America. Everybody became such crazy friends online because it was a real big thing online. Twitter at the time. Otherwise, we had the Lucha Click hashtag, and we got to know all those guys. I've got people over on Facebook that like I've been friends with for like 10 years, and I've never met them.
Yeah, I've never met Meatloaf in person. You've met Meatloaf in person, Melissa.
I
and
did.
I have not.
How is
Wow.
Meatloaf
I met him in
in
London.
person?
He's the coolest. He's so super
Is he
chill. We
paler
went.
in person. Does he like?
He's I mean, he's from like London, from.
Does he
UK.
smell as good as I think that he
Yeah,
smells?
what's he smell like?
He didn't. I wasn't smelling. I don't remember.
We didn't do that.
I just know we hang out at the park. We walk for a while. Then I think I fell asleep after that, or I went to see Tina Turner musical, and then we saw each other at the show, and then we went to the pub, right? You went to the pub with us?
Yeah.
Yeah, a very British thing to do. So yeah,
Go to a pub? No. All right. So, but being back on track, I want to ask you about this moment where you turned the corner with your promo and your battle with Tony Storm, and you got to cut a live promo with Tony Schiavone out on the stage, and it was like this jump to the thing that you hadn't really, even when you were champion, we didn't see a lot of that from you.
No.
But now it's like they can hand you, we've seen a ton of promos since that point in time. You and Tony doing the infamous Thunder Tits promo, you doing the Megan Bain stuff earlier this year, like lots of times that you've been on the mic now, but it feels like that Tony Schiavone one where you went out on the stage and you had the whole crowd to your back was this turning point moment of, no one ever again is going to say that Thunder Rosa can't work a mic.
Oh, they don't let me. Is that the problem? Is they don't let me? They don't give me a mic. Like, give me a mic, give me 3-4 points. Like, we'll figure it out and we'll do it, and we'll do it right. I think one of the things that helped me a lot was when I was feuding with Diana. That helped a lot because we had to like go back and forth, and she gave me a lot of rope to like hang myself with it. So. Yeah,
I think that's an underrated feud, though. Like, I think people don't appreciate how great that.
It was a great feud.
What was like 5 matches? I thought that was one of the best.
Yeah, it was 5 matches
that summer.
And
it
was 5. I felt like it was 6 or 7.
The last one was brutal. It was brutal, but it's like I don't feel in the last ever since I came back like. They have given me opportunities to be on the microphone, but they haven't like really allowed me to be in the microphone and like and shine through that. I don't know if it's because of like what happened prior to that when I was a champion. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I just keep working on the craft and that's it. Like I'm working with a acting coach in the very, very near future so I can get better at this. And I just want to get better at what I do.
Well, we've heard you also on Busted Open and Off the Ropes with Jonathan Coachman. I got to put over the coach. He doesn't like to be lumped into Busted Open. He has his own thing now on Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7. So
yes,
I don't want the coach coming after me. But what's it like doing that too? Because you're the only AEW star that is on there. There's plenty of people that are associated with WWE. I mean, not Sam. Sam does stuff for WWE every week. So does Rosenberg, so does Bully Ray. All these guys are doing stuff for WWE all the time. You are literally the only representative from AEW on this major platform. So what's that like? What's that experience like for you over there? And how valuable is that to your career right now?
It's a lot of responsibility because you have to be walking a very fine line because I'm an active wrestler and I'm very opinionated. It's sometimes my mouth, well, what I have to say,
No.
kept me in trouble, but it also has helped me a lot to develop my critical thinking and my speaking skills, and also that my opinion matters, and there's a lot of reactions with the fans. Like there was one not too long ago. I don't think I was criticizing someone, but I said something. Oh, in terms of when they did the announcement with WrestleMania in the Middle East, and they asked me about one of the girls, and I said, "Well, she got paid. She got to do what she got to do." And people were pissed. They're like, "How could dare to talk about superstars? You are not a superstar." It's like, I ain't saying shit. I just say that she got paid to talk. Like it's never you're never right or you're never wrong. Well, you can be wrong. You're never right, but you're always wrong. So I just got used to the criticism, and when I receive a lot of good feedback, and also it's a good opportunity for me to invite other people from AEW that are interested in using the platform if they want to do interviews, to come and do the interviews with us. I think it's important that we cover all the companies with like the same, but we always want to do that, but it's not always the case. But I have enjoyed my time there. Even when I was a champion, I was at Busted Open before, but I feel like now being with Coach, I can mess with him a lot more, and it's a little bit easier because I don't have to like talk about the shows necessarily. We talk more about like events that happen because it's on Friday, so we talk about everything that happened on the week that was interesting to me, and that's what I like, that they take my opinion, and I feel like it matters because that's what we talk about on the show.
No, that's a lot of fun. And we've even stopped doing straight recaps of any kind because there's 900 hours of wrestling on. And I don't want to offend you being an active wrestler or any other wrestlers out there, but oh my God, it's impossible to watch everything now. I would love to, and I love all these talents, but good Lord, it's just so much wrestling. Like how do you stand out in this current wrestling landscape with so much great wrestling on TV? Like tonight, Dynamite was awesome. Like, but if you're one of the 20 stars that was on that show tonight, like how do you stand out? And then you got to go up against whatever happens on SmackDown tomorrow, or TNA or NXT or New Japan or AAA that's now getting a huge platform. Like, how do you stand out as a wrestler in this day and age with all this wrestling out there?
Excellent question. Whatever you do outside of wrestling, that's what it seems like. That's what stands out, honestly. Because you can have 5-star matches, but if you don't, it's again, if they don't give you the platform to like cut a good promo or do a good segment, some people don't remember the matches. They remember the segments. Like some of the stuff that have gone more viral are the segments. It's not the wrestling. Yeah, you can again, like I went viral when I did that table spot. We have like 2 million people watching that, and then
the thing is 5 million.
5 million.
That is 5
the
million.
running up the table one.
Yes,
running up the
and
table.
that's the
Yes,
second one. This is the second version of that. So,
Right.
yeah. So it's that's what I'm saying. You have to either do something super extreme that people are gonna talk about it, or
Thanks,
definitely
Rebecca.
do a good segment, and that's what's happening with Harley Cameron. Like ever since she started doing a lot of funny segments, and she started with me when we were having a little thing when she came out and she said like the wrath of Harley. That's when it started. I mean, I'm not saying that I did it, but I help her out.
Look at you. I mean, she was even when she was a little bit kind of buried doing the QTV stuff, I was still enjoying it. Like I could tell that like there was something there, and I was happy that she started getting pushed to the forefront because she does stand out. And I think you stand out, and I think I think Megan Bain's imposing stature stands out some. Toni Storm obviously stands out because she's just ridiculous. The things that she did tonight on commentary are not okay. I don't even know how she gets away with the stuff, but it makes her interesting and she stands out. So I got to ask you, Thunder Tits is not happening right now in the tag tournament, and it's the biggest disappointment for a lot of fans. Is there a chance that Thunder Tits can happen at some point in time? Will the fans ever
It's
get
not,
Thunder Tits?
unfortunately, it's not up to me. I just work there. I
We
just
know.
come, show up, say thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. And when I go back and wrestle, like, that's what you do. I mean, I would have loved to, but given the circumstances right now, I can't be in the ring. So people have to move on, and that's what happened. I mean, Nara wasn't clear. She was supposed to wrestle today. Now she's not even gonna be in Blood and Guts, and there's nothing. I think that was the right move to do, because when somebody's injured, they were now you can see that they're respecting people's health. That's first and foremost the most important part for a professional wrestler, because that elongates your life show. And for me right now, my health is super important for the rest of my career. So yeah, I'm sad I'm not gonna be there. I'm mad that I'm not gonna be there, because I mean, let's be honest, Britt and I were the ones who brought a lot of this blood feuds in professional wrestling in 2021 when that match happens between her and I. So
Okay. I mean, look, it was already in the chat before you mentioned her name. You brought her up. Is there any chance we ever get to see more of that? Is it gone? Do we
again, it's not up to me, it's not up to her, it's up to the people above us, and that's above my pay grade. Like, I mean, I would love to. I think it will be a good idea to like close a chapter on our story and do it right? But I mean, and one of the things, and one of the reasons
she's got to
so,
be ready to kick your ass, though. I mean, you've gotten over on her a couple of times.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's time to like finish the story, whatever
You're
that
give
is.
her another chance.
It's not I'm gonna give her another chance. I mean, for years I've been saying that we should finish.
I think she's called her out plenty.
I have.
Get it, but I'm saying if I beat somebody up in an alleyway, I don't know if I'm ever trying to come back for more. I'm like, I'm leaving that person alone. I'm walking away.
I think it's a matter of respect, right? Or like,
okay,
she might feel disrespected. She wants to get the respect back from the locker room or whatever. And who else than to beat me to like beat the respect out of me? I don't know.
I'm just gonna say this: what you guys did during the pandemic was nothing short of miraculous. The fact that you guys went out there in front of really just the ass boys cheering, which, by the way, they deserve all the credit in the world, because they made AEW the most fun thing to watch from a live programming standpoint on television by being the best audience in wrestling history. Me and Byron thought it was us at Lucha Underground. No, it was actually Billy Gunn's kids. It was. Awesome. I don't know how they did it, but they did. So literally, you guys just go out there in the middle of the pandemic. Like, wrestling period is cold. It's just ice cold. It's so weird. It's creepy. WrestleMania was held in the Performance Center that year. Like, it was not okay. Like, wrestling was not okay. And for one brief moment, I think that everybody felt the magic of wrestling again, because you and Britt gave us ECW 1997 as two women who have never done that before. Women have never done that before. Women have done that since.
No, it's been done. It was done in the independent.
Tried.
It was done. It was done somewhere else.
Correct. It was done in Japan.
In Japan, Mexico, many times. There's been blood feuds, but never in a mainstream TV show like that. So that's why it had such a heavy importance on what we did that night. And
you guys won match of the year.
We did. I have my placa
right that?
Here.
Plaque.
Who just wins?
My placa. We did. We did, and you. La placa. Una plaquita. No, so I mean, it's a big accomplishment in my career.
Well, I
was salty because I didn't get the other awards, but you know what? I got the big one, the good one, which is like match of the year.
I mean, I don't know. Like, for me, I don't know if I would need anything else after that. You've gotten, a couple of major championships, and you've got this moment that I'm interested and excited to see other women try to win that crown. They can all win the same belts that you've had. They can all win the other belts in the other company, but can two women go out there and get match of the year again like that by breaking ground and doing something that no one else has done before. I don't know if it'll happen. I would love to see people try. Do you think it'll happen? And who would you want to see pull off what you and Britt pulled off?
I think some of the new girls that are going out there, and I don't know yet. I don't know exactly who I will like, because I need to see a little bit more. But there's a couple ones that I'm like, okay, I see them doing something interesting.
And I do want to touch on this because I've talked to a lot of these girls out here, and so many of them, and I don't think people know this, and I don't think you get the credit for it. And maybe you're too humble to take the credit for it, but so many of these younger women in the business right now have come through you or are inspired by you or been touched by you in some way to excel at what they're doing. And I'm not saying that you made them 100% yourself, but there's a lot of girls out there now that kind of came through you or Mission Pro Wrestling or wrestled you at some point in time. What do you feel like your contribution is as a veteran in the sport now? Like up until a couple years ago, you were still seen as kind of, the indie darling that made it, but now you're past that. You're in this stage of your career now where you are a respected veteran of the game, and you have literally 30 or 40 girls that came up underneath you in some fashion now that give you partial credit. The Thea Hales, the Maddie Rinkowskis, the all these girls, so many of them. Like, how do you see yourself now as a veteran of this sport that has been through all of these things and learned all of these lessons?
I just think that I did a lot of the stuff with my head high and on my own terms that got me in trouble sometimes. But how sometimes you can't make history if you're not a troublemaker, right? So I continue to show how proud I am from where I came from. I don't hide where I came from. I continue to speak my mind in a more respectful, professional way, to not for me, but to like make changes that are important in the business, and also make changes that are important in the place that I work, because it's like how they taught me when I was in Japan. You always come to a place and you leave it better than how it was, and that's always what I try to do, and I continue to do, regardless of the consequences of some of my actions that I feel that they need to be said. But it's important that we have more women that are empowered and they feel that they can do that, because a lot of the times, for many years, they continue to tell us that we can't do that, or like the guys are doing it, so now we can't do it. So it's very bothersome, and it's still happening in many places. So but it's important that we all get together and we do this as a conjunction, as a group, instead of just like single people. I always believe that, and I think when we had Mission Pro, that was the major message that we had. Very punk rock. It was like this punk rock women that are colored women that are older, have a voice, they have a space, and I think we need to continue to have that for everyone that is coming after us.
Yeah, if I may add something from
Please.
a very close perspective, I've seen the impact of Thunder Rosa and Melissa Cervantes as both the in-ring performer and the woman in the women's locker rooms everywhere. I'm not gonna go into details, but we've traveled a little bit, so we've been in different places all over the world. London, Mexico City. There was this one particular event in Juarez, and a beef was squashed just because they both wanted to talk to Thunder Rosa at the same time.
No, I'm serious. No, and I talked to both of them, and I was like, "Hey, listen, the market is hard, and if you guys have beef and you cannot work in the ring, you're not gonna get the money. Put that shit aside. If you want to talk shit about each other, talk about it another time. This is time to make money. Put your shit aside."
And it was over. Like, seriously, that thing that happened. And I had background and understanding of what was happening. And then after that event, it has stopped. I'm not gonna, we're not gonna, because we wanted to, everything should be healthy. But it was that for me at that moment, I was like, oh my God. And every time, we meet female wrestlers from Japan, Mexico, the United States, England, they always are looking for that, that inspiration, that comment, even just keep going from her. So I think that the impact is profound and is from generations to come. And there's still plenty of more, I believe, of Thunder Rosa, both in ring and in as an experienced veteran that can provide a lot of don't do this stupid shit to future generations.
Well, we need a lot of veteran wrestlers to tell people that in general. Okay, Comatose, here's your question. Can you please ask Thunder Rosa who her Mount Rushmore of wrestling is? And I know she's going to totally flail at this, which is why I'm so happy to ask. She has no clue.
How many people are in the Mount Rushmore?
4 people. No, it's 4. It's like
First
they always ask me this question.
I never got to go.
I know, Dave. Isn't this like, how did you get to work with Dave LaGreca without being able to answer this question?
You know why? You know what I used to do? I used to go on Google. I used to go on Google every time I didn't know what he was talking about, and I just like had to research it and read it like real quick. It was like now I do.
Okay, so let me change the question. I'm going to make it more specific. I'm going to say, I want to know who your favorite female wrestler is of all time, current or past. I want to know who your favorite wrestler from Lucha Underground was. And I want to know who is the wrestler that inspired you the most as you went into your career. So give me those 3.
Manami Yamamoto is the one that every time I had a crazy match, I watch her and I was like, yeah, I'm ready to die today. Fuck everything.
Yamamoto-san.
Yeah, she's crazy. And she's still wrestling. That woman. Yeah. She's intense. And Lucha Underground, who was my favorite? I will have to say the ones that I work with the closest, which is Drago and Aerostar. Why? Because they're good people. They were always good people. They always treated me with so much respect. And when I was like, I had questions, they never said no. And they always treated me like equal. I love them. They're very good people.
We love Drago here too. I don't
Drago's eyelashes are amazing.
What?
Yeah, he's so dreamy. His eyelashes are amazing.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Is that breaking kayfabe because he wears a mask?
No, because the eyelashes are not. The eyelashes come through the mask.
He's talking about my dog, guys.
Yeah.
And I think the one that inspired me the most, I will have to say, Alondra Blaze or Medusa. One, because she went against everything, and she did it her way. And yeah, I bit her in the ass, but she's still going, and she's such a strong woman, and she's done things her own way, and she's one of those few people that she texts me 4 or 5 times a year to see how I'm doing, to check how I'm doing, to check on my goals. Like, she's known me since I was in Japan on 2016. And I didn't know who she was because, I didn't watch wrestling. So I didn't know nothing. I wrestled Jazz and I didn't know who Jazz was. Like that.
God.
Oh my God.
That's probably
yes.
better for you because Jazz is a straight up killer.
Oh, well, we had a 20-minute match and we didn't call anything.
Yeah.
I love it.
I don't know if she would have let you call anything.
It was I see you in the ring, kid, that kind of shit. Yeah, that happened to me in New York City. And people still remember that match was great. And I was like, it was great because I learned a lot. But yeah, so she's definitely one of those who, keeps it real and definitely planted a lot of seeds for the woman that I am in professional wrestling and the woman that I will continue to be.
Well, guys, I think Mel's actually answering that question because I believe when I've asked her before, she's actually said Alundra Blaze was her dream match if she could have time with anybody in the ring. So you guys don't need to fight. They're fighting in the chat over you. They're fighting.
Keep fighting.
Don't fight.
No, fight. I want to see it.
We need engagement. We need engagement in this. So keep fighting. Keep saying stupid shit.
I love it. I do want to go back to Lucha Underground for a moment because realistically, like, would you be here without Lucha Underground? I mean,
No.
I know you wouldn't be on this podcast without Lucha Underground
No,
because that's how we all met you.
no, I wouldn't, because there's always like that chance, like, and we talk about this with a lot of the girls that have been in the same generation that I'm in. They never really got that break that catapult them to the next level, right? And I feel like for me that was one of the first level to like achieve some of my dreams, and which was to get a like real contract and live off professional wrestling. So that was the one. That's the one that helped me quit my regular job and just do full-time professional wrestling.
I see that, and in your career, it's amazing, and this should illustrate something for people about becoming a professional wrestler. I think you didn't have just one of those moments, and a lot of people are just waiting for that one big moment and to capitalize on that one thing. But you got to keep going. Like Thunder Rosa had Lucha Underground as a break. Had a chance to go to Japan, first of all, and learn a bunch of cool shit before that. Then that's part of what gets her noticed for Lucha Underground. That's another break. Gets on Lucha Underground, but has to perform for 3 seasons with the boys, literally half the time. I mean, her and Sammy Guevara did a standing Spanish fly off the top of the freaking arena in Lucha Underground. So, but then you have to take other opportunities, and you find yourself becoming an American citizen, which I think helped you out a lot. Then you go to NWA.
Yeah.
And that was a tough time too, when wrestling was not at the forefront. Independent wrestling was all over the place. Everything was spread really thin. And somehow you get the belt over there. And I think that's what gave you the indie credibility and the relevance on the word of mouth side that propelled you further. So what was it like when you found out that they were going to put the strap on you, and how did you feel going, like, your first real world title?
I don't know. It's been so long. I cried.
Oldest title in
I
in North
know.
America.
I know. First of all, the most important part for me wasn't even winning the title. It was what it meant for the Latinas in America, the Latinas that are going into professional wrestling. I was the first Mexican-born female wrestler to earn a title in the NWA. It's never been done before. So this and the company's been running for 90 years. So that was a big shift. And then another one was David Lagana, which was the person that that advocated for me. He believed in me truly through and through. Like from the moment he saw me in ROH, he told me that he had something for me, and the way that he booked me too was a very smart way to book, because me and Melina, he always said this: we have very interesting and intricate personalities, and we need to be booked a certain way. And he was able to accomplish that. Unfortunately, we weren't able to see the full story because of everything that happened, and then NWA as we knew it transformed, and everything is history, and then I ended up in AEW. So but that time period made me more confident about where I was going, and that I was going to be able to earn something bigger. And the thing is, like, at the time, is I had the mentality of like, thank you, I'm happy to be here, so I'll take anything. And then it taught me that you cannot be like that if you want to be with the Sharks. You just can't.
Right. You got to get in there and bite somebody.
Yes. Or you get eaten. So yeah.
Well, look, you seem to make it out of there in pretty good shape. And I think Ricky Starks / Saints made it out of there in pretty good shape now. He's finally gotten someplace. Are you proud to see your homie over on the other side of the fence doing well?
Yeah, of course. Like I remember him struggling in the indies, and like the times where he was like couch surfing and like struggling, and because he's very passionate about professional wrestling, and like his passion sometimes can be misconstrued, or can be a little too much for a lot of people. But I'm glad that he bet on himself. He did what he needed to do, and now he is a champion where he wants to be a champion. Hopefully he's doing well. I haven't talked to him in a while, but I'm very happy for him, from being someone who was on the road with him, who wrestled him in some of my promotions, who seen him at his best and at his worst. I'm really happy for him.
So last time we talked, you were actually the NWA champion. You were doing this insane thing of getting into a cage and having an honest to God shoot MMA fight. Insane. Still one of the most insane things. Like, I can't believe you did it. And I know you did commentary for Combates America for a while, which is also amazing. But we haven't talked about the AEW championship on this show ever. You got crowned the AEW Women's World Champion. And I will be completely honest, I did not see it coming. I didn't think you were going to win that night. I really didn't think you were going to win. I didn't think they were going to put the belt on you. It's not that I didn't have faith in you. It's that I didn't have faith in the process. I didn't have faith in the system. I didn't think the system was going to reward your hard work. And when it did, I broke down. I was just like, I can't believe our homegirl is actually the fucking champion of the world in a major televised promotion. Because the NWA thing was big enough. Like, I was happy. This was bigger. And sadly, I was there for the first time sitting in the front row in a ticket that I didn't get comped to me or wasn't part of Lucha Underground, where there was a whole raffle-y thing that happened. I'm in a paid front row seat, and that was the day here in Cleveland when you had to give up the belt. There's two extreme highs and lows. How the hell did you get there? To the point where you would be on top of the wrestling world, and to the point where you were forced to give up being on the top of the wrestling world.
My life is a novela. That's how it happened. It legit is. It's a fucking novela. I mean, Tony was really high on Thunder Rosa at the time, and he saw the opportunity, and the writing was on the wall. You know, Britt had a really good run, and then there was an opportunity to do a cage match, you know, first ever cage match for women in AEW in San Antonio. And man, that night I feel like a rock star. We had like over 9,000 people in the place. Like, it was 8,000, and then when they announced it was a cage match between me and Britt, they sold 1,000 more tickets. Like, we were
they opened up sections. I remember.
We were completely sold out. Like, people had signs, like, all the homies from the Cuts came, from Houston, from Dallas, like the San Antonio people. My people were here. We made miracles with the mariachi, Tony and I. Tony was like, it was crazy. It was like the 24 hours before the show was crazy. Then my gear, like, just that they did that gear in like 24 hours. Like, getting my parent, my dad, my sister, my son, my ex-partner there. Like, every single, like, literally every single person that was important in my career was there. It was crazy. It was crazy. I had like 20 comms from the front row.
So they weren't all paid tickets, folks.
No. But, you know, the more important people there. But like, some of my people, they bought the tickets all the way on top. We made a lot of promotion. Like the Spurs gave me the T-shirt. That was the first time that my dad and the jersey. Thank you. The jersey with my name. We were in on the floor. Like, we never had floor tickets before. Now, yes,
that was the first time ever people start reaching out to me to get tickets. I'm like, no, I'm not doing. I'm not gonna do that. We already asked for everything we could ask, and then some.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it was pretty crazy. And I used my ring, the ring for Mission Pro, for that show.
That's right. So your ring is the ring from Thunder's independent promotion was the ring AEW used that night. And let me just say, much better than the one that Kyle Fletcher's friends provided in Australia.
Right size, at least.
Sorry, Kyle. We love you, Kyle. The bouncy house, bad.
But anyways, that happens. I become a champion. I personally wasn't ready for like what was coming next. And
why do you say you weren't ready?
I wasn't mentally ready for it. It was a lot. That championship comes with a lot of responsibility, especially being the first Mexican-born wrestler to do that, and then all the scrutiny that comes after. But that's another story for another day. You know. That's in
Okay,
the
but
past.
I have to ask you this, because you said that if you won another world title, would you and could you do it better, do you think, now?
Yes. I'll say yes, because
And would it be
know.
better for you, or would it be better for the fans? Would it be better for the promotion? Like, what
I
is
think
better?
I think it will be better for the promotion, because now I know how to do things and how the system works and how the new, like, the little things, that the minutia that I didn't really know that you have to do.
I'll add here, it would be better for the industry in general.
Yeah.
So you think you could be QB1 like Cody Rhodes? Could you be the QB? Could you hold down a promotion?
Absolutely.
I don't disagree. I completely believe that you.
I do a lot of work, and I'm not even a champion. I call myself the champion of the people, because I do a lot of work for the people.
Okay,
and
so I'm just gonna intersect here a little bit. So it's been 2 weeks now. Jesus. 2 weeks ago, she was part of a parade in Mexico City that you will have to fill Wembley Stadium 20 times for the amount of people that were there. And she entertained everyone just by walking by. She's underutilized. Oh my God, that's words. It's so hard to say. Underutilized to an extent that is laughable. She is amazing. I don't think there's at least not, and I checked, a generation from now, they will still be looking for another Thunder Rosa. So they should, next time, they should just give her the keys, to the house and let her run it.
And I always say this, and this is not because I'm full of myself. It's like I work to the place that I am right now to want something bigger for myself and for Thunder Rosa. Not so much for Melissa, for Thunder Rosa. For whatever time I have left, 5, 6, 10, whatever. I mean, I don't want to be wrestling until I'm 50, because then that means I'm going to have to get Botox and, like, I got to do a facelift, and maybe boobs are going to come. I don't know.
You're getting really good now, though, the facelifts.
I mean, look, I'm 50.
Great.
I've done all that.
Black don't crack, so you don't count.
You hear that, Byron? It doesn't crack, so stop trying.
Byron is I'm putting all this stuff, all this Korean stuff in my face.
Byron hates it that he's like 4 years younger than me, and everyone thinks he's like 10 years older.
First of all, I do not look 10 years older, and everyone thinks I'm way cooler than you as well, by the way, you tell me all the time.
I'm going to read Rebecca's message, because I think Melissa really needs to hear this. This is important stuff. Rebecca says, I got to go to a taping of LU and meet Thunder Rosa. I have to say thank you for being a big part of one of the best days of my life. And we love Rebecca. She's been one of our day ones for this show for a long time. And I know how much that day meant to her. It was, and I've seen you do this with other people, and maybe you know it, and maybe you don't even know it sometimes, but Rebecca's one of those people that you reached out and touched in a very genuine way. And I've seen you do this at conventions and some other stuff. And I'm still trying to figure out how it is that you are able to connect with these people on such a grounded level compared to what some of the other superstars have done. And literally, I think Cody Rhodes is one of the few other ones that I've personally met where I've felt that same kind of thing that you have with him. Like, by the time I was done talking to Cody for 5-10 minutes, I felt like I have a personal connection with the guy. And I did. I talked to him and Brandy for 2 years straight. I mean, they're just nice, normal, decent people. And that dude will go out of his way for anyone. You're the same kind of person. How do you maintain that level of connection with so many thousands and thousands of people?
I was a fan. I was a fan myself. And I like to be treated like a person, not like, you're just dropping money on the table. And that's what it is. Unless you break my boundaries, and then I'll be like, sorry, I'm going blocking you respectfully, so, but yeah, it's just that people deserve respect, and like people, they need to feel loved, and everybody has, their idols, and especially when there's women and young girls or young boys I love just, pouring my attention, painting their faces and making them feel special, because it's a very, very beautiful memory they're going to have forever. More than a card or 8x10 is that.
Well, that's the perfect place to leave this. I'm going to ask you one last question.
Byron wanted to ask me a question, Justin. The fuck?
Yeah, of course.
And
but
I
like,
also have
here-
something to say as well on this
Okay,
point.
let's let
Do not
Meatloaf
open
talk.
that door.
Let's let Meatloaf
So,
talk because Byron is muted.
yeah. So I will say one thing.
Why?
So obviously, I've seen a lot of people. Like, I'm living in the UK, so a lot of the talent gets brought in. So a lot, it's like, and I used to only travel to, like, Will Ospreay would be wrestling, and I'd go see Penta and Fenix. So most people were there to see Ospreay. I was obviously there to see the Mexican talent. Lots of people get brought in over here, and I've always had a lot of alone time because that people haven't bothered them. Even with Penta and Fenix at their height of lucha, still weren't bothered by people as much. But like when I went to Riot Cabaret, the people bring signs, and they like were just generally like walking around in Thunder Rosa merch. I've never seen that genuinely happen. So like most people would come to the shows, like I said, watch the local talent or whatever, but like for yourself, they came to see Thunder Rosa, and they came with merch, or they came with like handmade painted signs that they spent weeks doing, months doing. And like I said, I've seen guys that people, nothing thing, but be like, oh my God, Penta got now. But like at the time, people come and say hello, but they, you know what I mean? There was never that passion for that person. And that's the difference. And that's like like I saw we went, like when we met the first time in a small conservative thing above a pub in Batley,
That's a long
and
time
the
ago.
little girl, but there was like a little girl there, and at that point in your career, you were, like, I would say in the UK, only known for Lucha Underground, and even that was like niche because you couldn't get it over here. And that little girl, like, meeting you was like the world. And it was crazy for me that she knew anyway about you, but like she was just in love with you. It was amazing.
A lot of people are in love with me. Let's be honest.
I'm gonna tell a
That's
quick
how it is.
story that happened actually 2 weeks ago in the parade. So what I mentioned before, that's 2 million people that went to see her. That's what I was.
Oh
trying
my
to say.
God, that guy! Yeah.
So out of those 2 million people, this guy with his family chased us through Reforma, which is what was that? 5 kilometers, 5K? Is that a 5K?
5 kilometers. Yeah, 5K.
5 kilometers. Yeah. So it took us 4-5 hours just to move around because it was insane. If you guys see the footage next week on the blog, thank you. It was insane. It was insane amount of people. This guy tracked us down, walked through a sea of humans just to get a moment with her. And the most wonderful part of it is that Thunder gave, after being tired and almost, I don't know, mobbed.
I couldn't pee. I couldn't eat for like 6 hours. We always got
Like
mobbed.
race
We
car
got wet.
driver shit.
Like, it was crazy. The guy came and he was like, he had a bunch of stuff, and I never signed stuff, but he earned it. He walked 5 miles with his mom and sister running to find me. Like, they were like literally were running as we were walking. And then he was like, "Oh, here's the exit." And I was
through
like,
an ocean of people, little.
yeah, it's
and
crazy. It's like 2 million people. 2 million people, like, just there.
He got
and they're
through
just
million people to get to where we were.
And it's also, I mean, there's also a lot of Katrinas out there too. You weren't exactly the only one. Like,
well, she
I
was
could
the
just see
shiniest.
this poor guy like knocking over every other Katrina, like looking for the right one. Like,
No, I think she was the shiniest, and also all the cameras were pointing at her, so she was identifiable on that part.
Yeah.
Byron, do you have something to say in English?
No, let him do it in Spanish.
See. No, I just wanted to back in a section when we were all complimenting about how Mel should be world champ. I think also that I think even more than that, what's impressed me is how good as a representative of pro wrestling that she's been. The Mission Pro stuff, I thought, that's just been so, you don't see that on TV, but well, I guess you do see some of that on TV now, but that's been so important to the industry. The paying it forward, to the next generation. I think that's been great. I remember at the beginning, AEW at least was more public about their charity work, and you were a big part of that.
Yes.
And that's something I think that is missing, because a big part of pro wrestling is the community, and I think that there's a lot that it can give back to its fans. So I thought that was great. Yeah, so I just wanted to add into that section, even though it was 15 minutes ago. But and then also
I
my
forgive you,
follow-up
Byron.
question is, are you? I ask you, I think every time you're on the show, are you going to have any replica Cobra Moon masks by chance?
Tony, we can order them.
I can make it happen for you. Sure.
We can make them
I
happen
mean,
for you for sure.
me and Byron know how to sell them like hotcakes, because I still get people messaging me about how to get hold of them. So
Oh, hey, if you
And-
can sell them for me, believe me, just tell me how many do you need and we'll get them
Look,
done.
And
And
if
to
we
go
have
back
our-
and another-
I sent a message today because
We do have a
people
mask
asking about
guy.
ring gear and
Ooh.
everything.
So-
Like,
and if you've got ring worn gear or whatever,
Yeah.
let us know. We'll help you move it.
I don't have any ring worn gear from Lucha. I have a lot of ring worn.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
oh no,
I'm
no,
getting-
yeah, they're not even Lucha stuff, like the AEW
Yeah,
stuff. or
people
like,
buy that stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
And to go back another 45 minutes, maybe
and
47 minutes.
Byron will tell you how much I'm very good, how much
In the
stuff I
show.
sold for Escobar.
Yeah. No, we'll talk after the show about Meve's broker side business. I just want to say, back we talked about when you won the women's world title at AEW,
Mhm.
but the show before that, when you were, I think it was a pay-per-view, and it was a stacked pay-per-view, and Casey was over at my house. We were so excited. We had the Thunder Rosa figure up on display by the TV. We're ready to root for you, and and the match was whatever match. I guess there wasn't room for it then, and then we were so disappointed because we were ready for the win then, and then we
Yeah.
had to wait till the cage match, and that was amazing too. But we were so bummed when you lost.
Yeah.
I'm reading now. Yeah, the
Yeah.
food bank stuff. It's all great. Anyway, you're
Yeah,
awesome.
I
Thanks
mean,
for coming on
we
the
used
show.
to do a lot of stuff. So I mean, I'm still figure out what I'm gonna do in the next couple weeks with everything that is happening in the community. So hopefully, I'll figure it out.
Oh yeah,
But
do you
no,
have any
thanks for having
Thanksgiving
me.
food drives to plug?
I am going to the Salvation Army tomorrow because I'm gonna be ringing the bell for them, and then next week I'm doing a golf tournament that we're gonna
You play
help.
golf?
No, they just invited me. I'm just gonna go and
Oh, yeah.
be present. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna go and hang out
What's
with
your
my friend Brad.
handicap?
You just swing a stick at a ball. Well, don't worry about it. It's not that hard.
I don't know.
Make
I
her
don't know.
caddy.
But
Just hit it real hard and go.
Yeah.
What if you're the next Happy Gilmore?
Go.
Feliz Gilmore. I don't know.
please
whatever.
no, but Tony and I were working with something for
Yes,
Christmas
yeah.
for the kids in Tijuana in Mexico City for the Boys and Girls Club with
Yes.
Jazzworks
Boys and
Mexico.
Girls Club Mexico.
Yeah, so we're trying to do something in there, and
Please specify which Tony in the industry you're referring to, because
Tony
then people-
Allen.
So
Tony
true.
Allen.
because then the other guy will get the
Say anything about Melissa and Tony, and it could be Tony Khan, Tony Allen, could be Tony Storm, could be Tony anybody.
Ooh.
Yeah, but we still trying to figure
Siobhan.
out what else I'm doing this month. But if not, I'll probably be volunteering. If I'm not going to Mexico to with my parents, I'm probably gonna be volunteering at a.
well, we're figuring out.
Thanksgiving.
We're definitely figuring out what to do with how to help people with these situations that some of the benefits have snapped. So we're trying to figure out how to help people because it's just
love
it's
Rebecca.
really messed up. It's really
Golf
Yes.
is the worst way to
Rebecca.
interrupt a long walk. Thank you, Rebecca. All right, here's the last question. From Lucha Underground to AEW Women's World Champion, you've done a lot. You've had an amazing career. You're one of the best veterans in the entire game at this point, and the entire industry stands to learn a lot from you. We all know that. You know that. Most of the industry knows that as well. My real question for you is this. What is left for Thunder Rosa to do? Is it singing? Is it doing musicals like The Last Match? Is it staying in
Everything.
the ring for another 5 years? Is it another
Everything.
championship run? What's left on the menu for you?
Everything. Right now I'm just open to the universe and I'm calling for a lot of success. How is that gonna look? I don't know. I'm preparing myself for big roles. And I'm preparing myself to get back in the ring, which is important. I think this year 2026 is gonna be extremely important. I have to stay healthy for big opportunities to come in the future. What do they look like? I don't know yet. But for sure, my master's degree is coming. That's for sure. And some music is coming, and a documentary is coming. So there's a lot of stuff that we're working on. So it looks like I'm high, but I'm falling asleep. So I apologize. My eyes are really swollen.
I know one other job for you as well is international relations diplomat, working in an embassy, because you're all over them.
She spends enough time in them.
I do. We have a lot of friends in high places, right, Tony? Alan?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, we're trying to bridge the world a little bit because it's kind of broken at the time. So, that is definitely, in a sense, she is already an ambassador. So she just needs the actual title so that she can. Yes, but we're working on that
title / paycheck.
Yeah, well, yeah, that would be good. But we're working on that too, as a matter of fact. So yeah, little by little, we get in there.
Little by little.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Looking back a little bit at Lucha Underground, which has been a large portion of this show, we would not have made it to 200 episodes without you, and you have been our biggest and most important guest on this show. So thank you again for all the time that you've given us over the years. We appreciate it. The people who watch the show appreciate it. And please don't be a stranger. Come back anytime you want to, anytime you got something to plug, anytime you got something to say, or you just want to shoot the shit with me and the boys, because we love having you here on Mass Mats and Mayhem. Thank you so much, Thunder.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night. Yeah, I'm going to go to sleep because my eyes are like so swollen.
And we're going to quickly talk about a couple of other things. And then Eric Van Wagenen is coming up in a little bit.
And then there was.
Well, what did you kick out Byron?
And
because Mel left because I was trying to kick her off.
Okay, I just want to point out, you guys,
my story,
make fun of like how old my face looks and this and that, and like I just want you to know that I use my wife's skincare company's anti-aging stuff for products, and so if you're insulting my face, you're insulting her livelihood.
You don't even drop the name. Give a good plug.
No, because you guys are saying it looks horrible.
We need a sponsorship.
No, but I mean, I think at 65 that you do look 50. It's great.
Tony, I'm gonna fight you.
I think Tony is absolutely correct. And also,
win that fight.
you do realize that I use the same product from your wife, so that cancels out.
I will call it a hate crime.
No, Justin, you have stuff in the mail. Justin, by the way, you have stuff in the mail.
Travel size.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Is it my Manscaped shaver, Byron, that you sent?
I never got a Manscaped shaver. They mailed it to the wrong address.
Listen, guys, I do want everyone to see this Eric Van Wagenen stuff because it's amazing. If you are a fan of Lucha Underground, you've got to stick around. In a few minutes here, we have an amazing interview that we did earlier today with Eric Van Wagenen, who was the executive producer and showrunner. If you want some inside dirt on Lucha Underground, you've got to stick around and listen to this. But I got to give my pops and drops. Oh, my God. My pop of the week, guys. It was so good. I enjoyed it so much. Dominic Mysterio and his dad. When Dominic delivers the line, when Ray is questioning him about, you really think you're the greatest luchador of all time? You think you're better than Eddie Guerrero? And Dominic says, you keep my father's name out of your mouth. Oh my God. I have not popped that hard at wrestling for months now. So there's nothing else to me that could possibly be a better pop. And there was some good stuff in wrestling this week. The Bandito Dorado match on Saturday, which nobody saw, by the way. Half the people in the crowd left because it was at the end of a long AEW taping. It's on a Saturday night up against Main Event and like 10 other more important sports things. Nobody saw this match. I'm here to tell you guys, if you want to see the best match of the week, You have to go back and watch that match. It's so good. So good. But that's not even my pop of the week because Dominic just dropped the biggest bomb of all time. That's mine. Anybody else got a pop this week?
Yeah, I got some stuff. Do you have 45 minutes?
Jesus,
oh my God,
Lord.
no.
Okay, here I'm going to go super fast because
Bullet
I
points.
think my cold medicine ran out and I'm wilting like a flower.
Everybody's sick
So-
nowadays.
Rebecca,
wow, I love Rebecca.
Okay, you're next to mine. I'm going to
You can
fight you after I
stay.
fight Tony.
You can stay.
Wow. Okay, so here's my
You cannot
comatose.
come into my country.
You're at the front of the line now. Oh my God.
We got a bus
My
pass,
fists
Byron.
are going to be so sore after this. My young fists, by the way. Anyway,
You
Pop,
are young.
Brittle
Sid
wrists.
Justice is on the next DLC for WWE 2K25. Are you still playing that video game? If not, download it
It's
again.
free at the minute.
What is
You've
free?
got
Current
the-
one?
if
Anyway,
you-
the latest
video, you've
DLC,
got
the last
free-
DLC of this game, you get to play as Sid Justice, and there's also Jesse the Body Ventura, Mr. Wonderful Paul, Tito Santana, Junkyard Dog, also cool. Sid, you get to play as Sid in a video game.
Sid
That's what
Udy?
we all
Like the
wanted.
Sid?
We're all gonna what?
Sid
The
Udy?
Sid
The Sid.
fist pump.
Sid Vicious.
See?
Sid Justice.
Oh.
Sid Udy. That's
Here
it.
now. Here's the drop.
The one whose leg did this thing in WCW when he jumped off the rope and did the big boot. That's Sid?
That was Sid Vicious. This Sid Justice, I believe, is in the game. They're different people.
Okay.
So here's a drop.
And you know what?
what?
Of the top 5 black wrestlers of all time, I
Joker?
love the fact that
Or
Farouk
Sid?
is just slightly higher than Ron Simmons. I kid you not. Ask any AI in the world to give you the top 5 black wrestlers of all time. Both Farouk and Ron Simmons will appear.
That's bullshit though, because Farouk was like mid card at best. Farouk, awesome, right? But he was mid card at best and was there to put
Did he
Rocky
get
over, which was
champion?
great.
Did he get
It was
put in the
great.
Max Moon gimmick as well after Conan?
He might have.
No,
There was a few people that
No,
went through that gimmick, weren't there?
probably. Matt, something.
Damn!
Yeah, but Ron Simmons beating Vader for the world title. Tell me you don't have that moment already playing in your brain. That's one of the most iconic moments of
It
wrestling.
was before my time. bro.
Anyways.
Sorry.
Drops another belt in AEW. If it looks cool, I'll like it. But also, it's like you have a world champion, and then you have other guys who could be world champion, but you don't want to book
So
them as
why
a
did
champ.
he disappear?
So you give them a belt so they could feel like it. I don't know. It's a drop. I'm not.
That's my drop of the week too, Byron. I actually have to publicly say, and I hate doing this, that I agree with Byron.
Copying me once again.
I
copy my
don't have a
birthday.
problem with reviving the
Copy my
national title. I get
Yeah.
what Tony Khan's doing, but here's what I have to say about it. Belts are props. If you talk to any old timer in the business, they'll tell you belts are props. That's not a bad thing. And they are earned and they are deserved to a certain extent. But what makes a belt important is the fact that you can build storylines around it. You don't just make a talent by putting a belt on them. Witness Daniel Garcia, who was the TNT champion almost the entirety of last year. Nobody knew. I love Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is a great up-and-coming talent. That belt should have done something for him, but just slapping a belt on somebody and not creating a storyline to go with it makes the prop useless.
Yeah.
So to Tony Khan, I say, okay, look, if you want to bring back the national title, I get it. It's a historic belt. TBS, TNT, the Turner Networks have a claim to that product. So we're going to do it, even though it's kind of a bastardization.
NWA.
Right.
It's NWA, right? It's NWA.
Yeah.
NWA.
But it was kind of world class and some other stuff. There's some room for Turner to have a national title, which, it is a bastardization. I don't know how Corrigan feels about this, but I'm sure we'll hear at some point.
Yeah.
But my whole point is, if
Well,
you're
it's
doing
active.
that,
One is active. Mike Mundo
Yeah.
has it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to make it mean something. And the way you're going to make it mean something is not just locker room feuds, not tough guys, not Mid-South classics with guys saying I'm better than so-and-so. We need storylines. We need reasons why these things matter.
You need
We need
memorable
compelling
moments.
back and forth with memorable moments. Hangman Swerve worked it took a whole lot and it went way too far to a certain extent, but it worked. It is a memorable feud in AEW that everyone knows. People are not going to forget somebody's house got burned down and the other guy perpetrated a home invasion. We're not going to forget major crimes. And we're not going to forget the great promos that came after it when, like, that most recent one when those two were in the locker room or whatever. That's good stuff. You have to do that around the belts to make the belts mean something.
Yeah.
But okay, so just because I really thought a whole 45 minutes about this when you guys tweeted, when you
Guys, put on your own skates. What's the big deal? Meet me on the ice. Let's go.
Jesus, relax,
You're gonna
man.
fight Rebecca?
You're
What
gonna
is wrong?
get
Put herself on the list.
you are gonna get a heart attack at your age. Anyways, so what I was saying,
Little bitch.
Take some ibuprofen.
I love you, man. I love you so much. It just comes out. What you guys and I've said this before is that TK is trying to Jack Kirby, Stanley, John Byrne, all these storylines at the same time. So he has this background for the company. So if he activates in the Activate Championships, that's just to create those storylines that, oh, you know what? This belt was this at one point. And in the sum of things, like the company is 6 years old. When it's 10, there's like, oh my God, this the lineage of this championship. It's insane. And it's just a couple of, a decade. And he has to compete with a 1,000-year-old because he has no other connections to it. Maybe CMLL. Also, CMLL has 1 billion belts, man. That's insane.
Right.
So those are the things that he's doing, and I understand that part. Is it at this moment where we're living through it kind of a sour patch? Yes, sure. But eventually 10 years from now or like 4 years from now when we remember, remember that time what was it? The Continental Championship was the American Championship because MJF took it to Mexico and all that BS that happened. That's how I think he thinks. But I don't pretend to understand how he thinks.
But even all of that's erased now because now that belt's been absorbed into the unified belt.
It's
crazy,
but
it's still the storyline of that.
And if they ununify that belt, I'm going to be super pissed because then there's definitely too many belts. We can't have a national champion, an international champion, a continental champion, a TNT champion.
I want
a
a regional champion. I want a Cascadia champion.
Not to mention the ROH champion.
Yeah.
I want an All-Star
tag champion.
A Northeast champion.
Trios champion. A six-man champion from ROH. A pure champion. I'm still naming belts that are all con, by the way, and we're just talking about the men.
The pure belts have a purpose. They have it's a specific thing though, and it's a specific match. At least it's not just
I don't mind that thing.
This is going to be. I like that, but
has that even been contested?
They need to have
who's the pure champion right now?
Exactly. Has it been contested right now?
Tiger style. Tiger style.
Does Lee Moriarty still have it?
I'll check.
Maybe, probably.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Last I checked, he had it.
It is him. Yeah.
You know what? If he does it,
Lee Moriarty still champion. Yeah.
Great.
But what was it?
What was his last big feud with that belt?
He just fought someone on the RH pay-per-view, obviously.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I love Lee.
But
Lee is great.
Yeah,
he's a great champion. But make the belt mean something. Pretty please.
He defeated Wheeler Judah, dead before dishonor, 2024.
Wheeler Judah. My one of my theories about
oh god, that's a t-shirt you can't wear. Needs to make that.
Let's do that and then do #MMMshow so everyone knows it's our fault. One of my theories about this belt is that TK likes to have a work rate belt. So this belt is going to have a match that's going to be really awesome on the show. I like that idea, and they did that with Orange Cassidy and the TNT for a while. I think Will Ospreay did that with a different belt, and I just think he kind of, instead of having one belt do that, he kind of books that for a belt, and then moves on to something else, and then squirrel, and then moves on to another belt doing the work rate belt, and then he ran out of belts to do the work rate matches with. Also the whole show's work rate, but and then. I think this new belt is going to be the next work rate belt, where you're going to have a 20-minute awesome match amongst all the other 20.
Other than buying the belt, are you excited about this belt, Byron? Other than having
It depends on the design, though.
Well, yeah, let's see how it looks. Also, I think they're doing well booking it so far. But
I'm not saying they're not starting off hot. I think he started off
Right.
hot with every single one of these belts. I think he's starting off hot with the women's
Yeah.
tag belt, and I love that Mercedes and Athena lost tonight. I think that was amazing.
I popped. for
Nobody
that.
was expecting that. I was not expecting
great.
that. It made
I have
it
it-
made
I
that
have
whole
one more
episode of
drop.
Dynamite good. Go ahead.
I have one more drop, and then I can't breathe out of my nose anymore.
I hear
Uh,
that. Well,
So you have
Levy
the
Dub's knocking on the
Hangman.
door. We got to do that soon, Byron.
So you have the Hangman in a prior feud burned down a fucking house, right? He does that. He did most of these hardcore death matches, and then Samoa Joe pisses him off a little bit, and he goes, "Joe, if you fuck with me, I'm going to ruin your life." And then what does he do? He does the Tony Schiavone costume bit last week,
That was so
which
good.
was awesome. I loved it. However,
It really got
that's
me.
a-
I did not.
That's
Yeah,
that's a
But it doesn't
wrestling
make
gimmick.
sense, is what you're
He
saying.
did that, and he did a clothesline. This guy burns out fucking houses. I'm waiting for Hangman to go kick Samoa Joe's like wife in the face when she's out picking up her kids from school. That's the level he operates at.
And this is your top baby face, by the way.
Yeah,
The arsonist impersonator who kicks women in the face.
he's a
Okay,
cowboy.
great.
no, he hasn't. That's
He
what he
hasn't,
should
and
be
this
doing,
is
'cause
what's
no
making you
crossed the
upset
line.
with the storyline, is that he hasn't crossed the line into attempted murder again.
That's who he is, and he threatened that. And then
But it's
he's
a soft
doing regular
feud
stuff. A
at this
clothesline.
time.
Okay,
It's
cool.
not the feud that
It's a soft feud. I like that. It's a soft feud with a hard R.
It's a Kenny G feud.
Does anybody else have a pop and drop before we get to this interview?
I have a drop, which
Okay,
is,
do
give it
have
to
to.
me, brother.
Me too.
If it's me, I'm gonna fight you next.
well, no, don't. I've got too many jokes. It's America and tea, basically. I've seen too many videos of them trying to reinvent soccer.
Yeah, we did
and
that.
Putting tea in a microwave. And then
First of
someone
all, I
saying-
know we succeeded at reinventing it because you just called it soccer. So
Well,
we
I called
won.
it for the audience.
We won. Well,
I'm playing to
we
my audience.
It's on record. It's on record.
It's on record. We won. You called it
I got
soccer. We're good.
I got to talk down to dumb to people. You see, that's,
Okay, you
that's
might.
the way.
I get
I
that.
got, yeah,
I'll give it back to you. It's still football.
especially when we're talking about tea. But fuck it, just boil the kettle for fuck's sake.
You guys have to understand what has really, really irked me this week, and we've been talking about this in our DM group all week. Meef is mortified by the fact that people microwave water for tea, and sometimes do it with the bag in the tea already, and just make microwave tea. That's not how you make a cuppa, people. You need to put the kettle on. I'm
if
in
you've been
full agreement with Meef on this one.
you put it in a proper, I forgot the name of it now. Bloody hell.
Teapot.
Teapot. You put in a teapot, and then what you do is there's two ways you can do it. You can put the milk in first and then you pour it on top, because the whole idea is you don't want to burn the leaves, etc.
Right.
But we can get in. That's another story.
Okay, so for like the first time ever, I asked for like tea with milk in the U.S. I got looked at like I asked them to make soup with milk, and it was
I suppose it's because in America they do a lot of fruity teas and teas that aren't, or they have black tea. And they're obviously like you do tea which has a gallon of sugar in it and lemon.
To be fair, I don't think that Meef called Foster's beer. He called it Australian for beer.
Yeah, and also it's not beer. It's not beer. And in my defense, Foster's isn't beer. It's horse piss in a can that Australia has as their national drink. I can't help that.
All right, so
okay.
thanks everybody. Oh, you got one, Tony? Go for it.
I got
Get
one.
it in.
Yes.
Get your shit in. Get your shit in.
Okay. All right. So the drop of the week for me is having WWE stars, and I know you're gonna complain already, Justin, but having WWE stars come to AAA shows and winning belts in the first
Ugh.
try. You know, this is what I like about CMLL. They the AEW people have to.
I
pay
know,
their
but it was
dues.
Chels.
Yes, bro, but not
Chels.
in my hometown. Not in my home.
Okay.
It's not what I was born, but this is where I live. So I don't know. I thought for real. I was like, oh, really?
I was more
Iguana's gonna
irritated
lose?
that none of the AAA people got a win on the NXT pay-per-view. Like we're just bringing them in and jobbing them now. Like that doesn't
See, that's the
feel
problem.
good.
They're not winning in either place. So
Yeah, like
the only
how are we making this brand
Look
feel
good.
like something?
Yes,
This
exactly.
And
is
surely they learned from the NXT experiment because they did the same with NXT and TNA, and then they reversed it a little bit.
I know,
and
but this
it
is
became a really good
like
product.
this is old Vince stuff, and I don't know why we're doing this. This is
Exactly.
cross and suspenders and a skirt jobbing to Jeff Hardy. This is not okay. Like
Yeah, no, this is
we got to
too
build these
much.
people up better.
Yeah,
It's gone one step too far now.
how do I want Iwana to be this popular character if you keep beating him in Monterey like that? God, that really pissed me off. That really
They also looked at breaking up the Gazas in Monterey as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, at least they're getting a story. I kind of appreciate that part of it. Like I like the fact that these guys are getting a chance to act. They're getting a chance to work. They like working together. Whatever. We'll see.
And
but I don't disagree. I don't disagree, Tony. I'm gonna look. I like that Chelsea and Ethan won. I don't like that they won that quickly.
I don't think they. I mean, I know Chelsea's great. Ethan, I actually personal stuff. I really like the guy. He was very nice a couple of times. When he didn't have to. And
yeah, they're the right ones to do it. That's just not the right way to do it.
Yeah, and besides, like you don't have the Mexicans lose in Mexico like that. Especially, I mean, Iguana is not from Monterrey, but he's from Sinaloa, so he's from northern Mexico. Come on, people, what are we doing? Like it just, anyways. However,
you did win.
My boy, a Starbucks coffee or a Starbucks order.
El Grande Americano.
He's my pop of the week. Just I don't even have to say why. That's just
we know what
if you know, you know. He's just good for you, my man.
He is the man.
Unfortunately, this will lead to his demise, and he will be fired within the next 3 years.
I mean, we'll see.
I don't know.
He got away with the other one.
Well, it depends.
Yeah. All right, so. Everybody, thank you for sticking around. What we have coming up next was pre-recorded earlier today, but is amazing. If you are a fan of Lucha Underground, you have to watch this. Everything that you wanted to know. And honestly, there's a few things that Byron and I are like, oh my God, we need to talk to you even more about this. There are so many inside things about Lucha Underground that showrunner and executive producer Eric Van Wagenen is about to tell you guys, and he's going to give you the real tea on everything that you wanted to know about that last season of Lucha Underground, where AAA stands these days in his eyes, some of the talent that went through Lucha Underground and where they are now, all the big things, and whether or not Eric Van Wagenen believes if Lucha Underground can ever come back. So if you're a Lucha Underground fan, stick around. You are really going to appreciate this. All right. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. You waited this whole episode. You heard us talk a whole bunch of stuff. Funny thing is, this is pre-recorded. But joining us once again for a little trip down memory lane on episode 200, it's hard to describe you. For people that don't know who this man is, let me just say this. When a show goes absolutely off the rails and everything is wrong, this is the guy that gets blamed. When the show is perfect and everyone loves it, it's Penta's a great wrestler. Krista Joseph is a genius writer. You know, Anthony Jensen is directing his ass. Everybody else is getting the love. This guy will never get any of that except maybe here on this show. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lucha Underground showrunner and TV producer extraordinaire, Eric Van Wagenen. How are you doing, my friend?
That's quite the introduction. Yeah, I'm a what, 10 years older, a little grayer, a little more wrinkly. But I've been married for 21 years, so I'm used to not getting any credit and getting blamed for everything. So it's kind of
that is perfectly valid. Perfectly valid. So one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on, you were one of our best guests that we ever had on, and people didn't understand it. I remember the dirt sheets all the time would say all these things about Lucha Underground, and then we just ask Eric, we'd be like, hey, Eric, so is this and this true, or is this and this happening? And he'd be like, fuck no, it's not going down like that. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Where'd you hear that? And I'm like, oh, it's going around and blah, blah, blah. He's like, I don't know why people would say those things. And I would say, well, hey, Eric, would you come on our show and talk about it? And he's like, yeah, sure, why not?
It was you guys and Mike Johnson were the only ones that ever called me. And I was always like, oh, no, this is exactly what it is. And then they thought that was all bullshit. But, whatever. It's fine.
Well, to be fair, taking this little trip down memory lane, it was super complicated. The entire Lucha Underground system of thinking was not what wrestling was prepared for at the time. Talent was confused. We were confused as fans. Sometimes you were making the show and you were confused.
Yeah.
Like you were the showrunner and still like, who knew who the boss was from day to day? Was it Fogelman? Was it Rodriguez?
There was like 6 billionaires that owned part of this. And my job was to make sure they were all equally unhappy.
But somehow in the process of doing that, you made us very happy. So, but I want to hit you with a hard question first, because I always hit you with the hard questions first.
Let's do it.
Looking back on the history of Lucha Underground, do you feel like Jake Hager is the champion you wanted to leave that belt on when it was all said and done at the end of the day? And it's a tough question. And I like Jake. Let me preface this by saying at Ultima Lucha, the final Ultima Lucha, I spent an hour and a half just hanging out with him. I don't know why.
He's from Perry, Oklahoma. He's from Perry, Oklahoma. He was an NCAA champion wrestler. I'm a big wrestling nerd, but like American style, folk style wrestling. My kid did it. Like that was my sport growing up. So I have nothing but respect for someone from Perry, Oklahoma. But I think at the time, honestly, we thought we were getting another season. So I don't think that was. I think that was kind of a transition to set up the final push, which would have been the last season. But there was a lot wrong with that last season that just. It showed, the wheels started to come off. It started to fray around the edges. Every season was a contest between how much money can we take out of this and how much can we require, ask these guys to do as far as episodes, as far as production value. But the whole time, we were sort of like getting less and less money every time. And yet people looked at the product and thought, oh, these guys are made of money. It's kind of like why we left the temple, because the guy who owned that building was like, oh, fuck these guys. They got this TV show. They got 100 and something episodes. I'm going to ask for whatever I want to ask for. And we just, at some point we had to walk away because he wanted too much money. And talent was sort of like, hey, I've been playing ball with you guys, and you want to give everybody a raise, but you can't. And so it just hit a breaking point somewhere towards the end of that season,
which is unfortunate. And I get it. Like I felt a little bit of the writing on the wall when that season, the turnaround to get it going was so unexpected. I felt like for you guys, and it was like, oh crap. So we need to get 40 work visas for guys who are barely in communication with us through a whole nother company in another country. We need to get them up here.
The first Trump administration, when visas and everything just I don't think you could do the show now. I don't see how you could. It takes 3 times as long to get your passport renewed. And I don't even know how we would, in this political environment, get these guys, visas from Mexico. I don't think it's doable.
It seems like it's pretty hard. I mean, it's like the people who are doing it right now, they're not doing it on any kind of timeline. Like there's a lot of guys who are all getting their visas, and AEW and WWE having partnerships with CMLL and AAA respectively is helping a lot. But I mean, there's still a whole bunch of AAA guys that can't come up here and work yet.
Yeah,
WWE is working on it.
We had a start day and we had a wrap day, and it was like 2 months. And if it was even 3 weeks delayed, you missed the first half of the season. So yeah, there was, there was a lot of problems, that were inherent in that thing. And so it did feel like we had sort of reached a breaking point, towards the end of that season. But not to shit on Jake, because he did everything we asked and he was a total gentleman about it. So, I really like him, but I don't think that's where we want the story to end.
Right. And I think that is a little bit of the unfortunate thing. And we've been openly critical with you about some of the things from the last season in general. And a lot of people criticize like the whitewashing of Lucha Underground with certain talent. And
we couldn't get people from Mexico into the country.
Exactly. And I wanted people to understand some of that too. And that some of that was, like, hey, let's just write our way out of this however we can.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we would have loved more lead-in time, and we would have loved a bigger budget. We would have loved to, keep it more consistent with the first 3 seasons. But look, it's TV. It was we, like you said, we were kind of making it up as we went along. We were flying without a net. We just had to sort of make things work, and that was the fun of the show, honestly. It started as this tiny little show that nobody paid attention to. And it was really a weekend gig for me initially. I was doing Apprentice and other stuff at MGM. And so it just kind of like got more attention than any of us were prepared for, honestly, at the time. But that's a credit to the writers and the production team. And people really, at the time, it was so much fun. It's rare that you work on a show that ties up all your weekends, all your free time, everything, and you still look forward to it.
And you're like happy about it.
Yeah, it's fun. So
it's pretty rare for me to go to a live event where I stand outside on the street in the hood for 3 hours to get in and sweat my butt off and starve and not be able to get up and get food, or I'm going to lose my We did ridiculous things just to try to be a part of the magic that you guys were creating in that.
Yeah. We were excited to stand outside all day long.
The fans, the believers, it was something else. Like I've never seen that kind of devotion on any other show that I've worked on. There's like, hardcore Survivor fans and hardcore, fans of all these other things, but I don't think there's anything that'll ever top the audience commitment of Lucha Underground. So that was what was cool. So you want it to succeed, not just for yourselves and the cast and the other product. You just want to keep feeding the beast. You want the fandom, and you want the people to, and it feels good when people are saying like, oh, this is the greatest show. We love this. It's so much fun. Like, it's an ego stroke. Sure. We all work behind the scenes in TV, and you never get that. But, when I can walk from my car to my office and have 50 people, cheering and chanting my name and high-fiving me, like,
that really did happen.
Sign me up for that every week. I'll take it.
So in retrospect, do you think there is anything that could have saved it? Was there any way to keep the wheels on?
Yes, I think if El Rey had found a way to make more money, if they had even had another show that had gotten any kind of attention, it was in that weird sort of pocket. It's you look back on it now. What is it? 7-8 years later, it was in that weird little pocket where streaming was starting to really blow up. And we were still on this traditional, channel, and we were trying to get a cable deal and trying to negotiate a cable deal. Like, we were probably the last cable deal that ever wanted to be negotiated.
Right.
But it was in that weird little sort of, there was a paradigm shift happening in broadcast, and we got kind of caught in the middle of 2 different worlds. And so I think that if it had been a few years earlier, or even a few years later, and we had a legit streaming option, we might have been able to leg it out. But I just think that El Rey sort of ran out of commitment and money from the investors, from the government, it was like during that whole initiative where they're trying to bring a diversity ownership in broadcast. And I think to a certain extent, we got crushed by the cord cutters and the streamers.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. Like I was telling you before, we went on. I used to be in the music industry, and Napster like killed it for me. Like, you know, I was making $600 a day, 6-7 days a week when I started. You know, and I was working on like Papa Roach and Alien Ant Farm and Sugar Ray and all this big stuff. And by like a year later, I was barely making $200 2 or 3 days a week and working on just garbage projects, or like I was showing up for the last part of a session to record some vocals because everybody was doing it themselves. Like the equipment changed and the industry changed all at the same time. The digitization just screwed all of us. It reset it a little bit, but there was literally like 4 years where the only money that recording artists made was off of t-shirts. Nobody was making money, you know, and they're still having issues now with all the streaming stuff. Like artists are going, wait a minute, I had 1 million downloads and I only made $103,000 off of that. What the hell?
Yeah.
You know?
And we were, you know, and then I think what accelerated it was the pandemic, and you know, the whole industry just completely, you know, just took a dive around 2020. And I don't think it's actually come back yet. You know, I still think that it's in a contraction phase, and you know, hopefully it expands and opens up, you know, opens up for more creative things. But I tell you, I've been in a lot of pitches in the last 5 years, and 10 years ago, when you would be in a room with a pitch and you would pitch a cool idea, you know, the buyer would ask questions about the creative. You know, they'd ask questions about the talent, about the start, about the story.
Funny.
And in the last 3-4 years now, the very first question they ask is, how much does this cost? So it's a different world now, and it's completely, and in a weird sort of way, it almost makes me think that there's hope for Lucha, because we actually didn't cost very much.
Well, and I heard on Jonathan Coachman did an interview with one of the heads of USA recently, and he was talking about the economics of SmackDown coming to USA and how it cost them way less than 1 hour of original programming. They get it 52 weeks a year, and it gets double the numbers of what an hour-long drama gets. So, like, it's a no-brainer for them to try to keep wrestling on their network. Now, if it gets too expensive and the carriage, you know, the licensing fees or whatever are too high, then yeah, maybe they part ways. And that was why they were willing to give up Raw, because it was like, it's too much of a commodity. We'll take the other one. We'll pay this much more than Fox for the other one because it's still worth it to us. But, you know, it is a weird industry. So I have to ask you this. People ask me all the time, and I get stuck trying to explain this thing, and I barely know, and I probably know more than most. There's some guy who's trying to write a Lucha Underground book who was trying to ask me about it, and I was like, dude, go do your research. Like, I'm not giving it up for you. Watch all my old episodes and, you know, talk to these people yourself.
I think I said, you need to watch the MMA. And
but my question is, like, people ask me all the time, could Lucha Underground even come back? Can WWE bring it back now that they own AAA? Can, you know what? And I keep telling them, I'm like, so many people owned Lucha Underground that I don't know if it's possible. You'd have to ask those people. And like, so do you even know who still has a piece? Is it possible for anyone to even acquire Lucha Underground at this point?
Yes, it could be done. I feel like, you know, it's one of those things. It's like Contender. Contender had so many owners, and it keeps coming back. And there's still whispers about it. Lucha Underground has popped up in my radar from time to time every year since it ended, and that question comes up a lot. And yes, there are different parties that own the IP versus own the actual tape versus own the other parts of it, and they're different people, but you know, time heals all wounds. and when there's business to be done, people will eventually work together again, you know. And it would not be completely shocking to me if somebody made a run at actually bringing it all back together and trying again. It would not shock me. You know, so
I gotta imagine somebody over at WWE and TKO has at least thought about it. They got to be thinking, man, there's some cool footage there, like, because they don't have it for the library. Mm-hmm. They have the IP of some of the characters because they came from AAA, but they don't have the actual storylines and characters from Lucha Underground. But I gotta think somebody over there might be interested.
And they could really treat it as a cheap way to introduce characters, and when somebody like Penta or Phoenix or somebody is going over like crazy, then they bring him into the big show. I mean, I like, and with some of the storytelling techniques that we did that were so kind of like different than anything that they had done, the Skip Chasen treatment of it all. Like that's a great way to bring a fan base. Like Penta came into WWE and everybody knew he was going to do Zero Miedo and everybody,
right.
Like everybody knew him, and it was not hard to get him over. So it was like,
I also find that very surprising though, Eric. And I'll be honest, when you guys started, Penta was not the guy I was looking at. And I mean, even you guys have said that Phoenix was the guy that you thought was on the rise and whatnot. To us, Penta had already been kind of soiled goods in AAA. Like we were watching some of that stuff. He was feuding with Aussie Suicide at the near bottom of the card for like a year and a half in AAA. So we weren't expecting, like, I was excited about Drago coming in. I was hoping that you guys would get Wagner eventually, which you did. I was very excited about some of that stuff. I knew Tejano was a guy that was coming up. Like none of us were really thinking about Penta at first. And I think that really Skip Chasen, even more than DeJoseph, more than yourself, more than anybody, that first vignette made that guy.
Yes. So he headed east, far east. That whole thing, right? Breaking people's arms. Yeah. That was, and you know what? It was funny about that because I had a whole like Chris and I kind of had like butted heads over this, and I was wrong on it. It was like I was like, wait a minute, we've got these guys from Mexico, and he's got this Asian theme going on. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like like we can't have this Asian fighter faction. This is a Mexican show, and we kind of like we sort of went back and forth on it for a long time. But it just, I don't know. It is a testament to his like just charisma and his ability to just sell that character and really commit to it. And I mean, like shit, the stuff they were doing, I'd never seen it before. When they came in, like I'm sure that the two of them have been doing that shit in their living room since they were 5 years old. But I still just remember this shock the first time they had a match in our arena, and when they were doing these crazy flips and jumping off the office and doing all this stuff, I was like, who the fuck are these guys? Like, we just put them in because that's who we could get.
Right.
We were desperate for some AAA guys, and we got Drago and Phoenix and Penta and I think one other. I forget who.
Aerostar?
Yeah, Aerostar. That's all we could get that first week. And they just came in and blew everybody away. And it's like, okay, this is the horse we have. This is the horse we're riding. And look, it's all on them. They did it. Those brothers are crazy.
That was their shot. They were bottom of the card over at AAA. They had nothing for those guys.
And that's all Dorian would give us at the time.
Right. He was like, we'll see what you can make out of my
guys. We don't need these guys in the live. And like shit, man, they made the most of it. Like I'd love to say we were all geniuses and we spotted something and it was the greatest thing. And yeah, we all knew that they could work, but to come into that environment and that small and interact so personally with the crowds and to wrestle in a style that nobody had actually seen, like that's those guys. Like credit to them. So it's not a surprise that they're doing well even on a bigger stage. They deserve it. They're amazing. They're awesome. I love those guys.
Okay, but here's where I do have to give you guys the credit.
Okay.
The Japanese women that you brought in.
Oh, I love that.
Oh,
yeah.
Are now like running the whole industry. and I would also say as a part of that, you guys brought in our good friend Thunder Rosa as well from seeing her at a show. And she had basically only really wrestled in Japan at the time.
I met her at the exact same show. And
right.
it was Joseph and Marty called me and they said it was like a Friday and they say, we just saw the greatest female wrestlers from Japan and they're here one more day. Please come down and see them. So Marty met me down there, Marty Elias, and on the Saturday, and we saw the three Stardom girls. We saw Thunder Rosa. We saw Mia Yim, who
yeah.
I tried to get. She turned me down, and she had just signed a deal, so she couldn't do it. And then there was a few other women that were there that you would know that you'd seen around, but we kind of like focused on them, and we were like, holy shit, like they're amazing. Let's get them. And then I talked to the manager, and we, kind of went back and forth because they were coming to Vegas for, I don't know what the big Vegas show is. I forget, but it was a midweek show. And I said, look, can you just come a couple days early, and we'll tape on that weekend, and we'll put them up, and we'll take care of them. And we'll just 2 days. That's all, we'll just 2 days. That's all we need. And so it just freakishly worked out so that they were coming to America anyway. So we didn't have to pay for the trip, and we just had them come through LA, and we put them up for 3 days. And we tried to surprise everybody, but then they started posting pictures of cookies at Bodega Louie, and the fucking cat was out of the bag.
But honestly, it didn't
I've never
matter.
been to Bodega Louie. It's the cutest thing in the world, and it's full of Japanese girls taking pictures of the cookies. And so they started tweeting them out. I'm like, shit, there went our big surprise, because one of you guys was like, we know who's here.
Right. We already knew by the time but dude, we always knew. Come on. We knew so many people. But at the same time, we could have never anticipated what happened in the ring or what happened in those storylines, and none of us could have anticipated Thunder Rosa inhabiting that character, basically being a Mexican woman who was not a luchadora, who came up through the indie scene and then had trained in Japan, being able to come in and now inhabit this hooded luchadora gimmick. We could have never anticipated that. And also,
we kind of had to protect her for a month or so. She wasn't she had some rough matches the first few times. We kind of had to let her grow into it, and then she got confident and then took off from there. But it was that took a little development, I think, for her. But
and kudos on you guys too, because it's like, crap, we have to start finding stars to stick under these hoods to make this feel like a Lucha Libre program, and she was one of them. Mm-hmm. One of the other people that I kind of want to ask you about now is Santos Escobar, aka Io del Fantasma, aka King Cuerno, as he was known in Lucha Underground. What do you make of his trajectory post Lucha Underground? And I know he was one of the guys that you guys were fighting with contractually towards the end, but there was no hard feelings, right?
No, never. Like I was always happy I shouldn't say I was happy, but I was proud of these guys when they I know what we were paying them, and I know what you can get at WWE, and so you can't fault them. These guys are married, they have kids, there's no way I can ever say, oh, stay with us. Like I told Ricochet when he told me he was leaving, I said, look, I get it. Your dream was never to be the main event of Ultima Lucha. Your dream was to be the main event of WrestleMania. You got to chase it. I get it. Like we're happy to have you as long as we had you. And you're always welcome back. But we could only offer so much, and we were realistic about it. But with Fantasma and he was such a professional. He always was, and he was the guy that DJ used to always say, we're going to lose him to WWE. We're going to lose him to WWE. He said that on day one. He was like, we're going to lose him. We're going to lose him. We're going to lose him.
We never really realized how good his English was in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I know he got hurt that one season when Joseph has told me that he had plans for him and he was going to have him start talking more and doing this, that, and the other thing. But then he got hurt that season. So he was always kind of wishy-washy in the character department after that. But we had him on the podcast after Lucha Underground was done. And he almost credited us for helping people realize that, hey, he was available to work to go to WWE, but he came on to this great interview and it's like, geez, your English is fucking perfect, bro.
When you wear a giant deer head to the ring, nobody wants to hear you talk. They just want to see the whole fucking deer head.
No, who we didn't want to hear talk at the time was our boy Ricochet. We did not
God.
And I have given Trevor crap about it. I'm actually decent friends with him now. And I don't even know when he turned the corner finally, but this thing that he's been doing in AEW now is literally the best he's ever been. I think it's better than Puma. I think it's better than King Ricochet in Japan.
I have to go seek it out and look for it. I've kind of drifted away from all the
which is completely understandable, by the way, because there's maybe 78 hours of wrestling on a week now. It is next to impossible.
Yeah.
You know, we have a rule on our show where no one gets mad at any other co-host for not having seen anything in a given week because it's fucking impossible to do.
And when you're not getting paid to be in the business, sometimes you lose your interest. You know?
His new gimmick, I'll sum it up this way. His new gimmick is basically taking the Trevor that we all actually know backstage and turning it into a Morris Day heel out in front of the audience.
What's his new character name? I don't even know.
It's still Ricochet. He's still his guy. He's still the same guy, but now he's this calls himself the light-skinned kingpin or something, and he's got this laugh, and it's total heel magic. It's, you know,
he was amazing. Like, you know, like we knew we had something special with him, and it was smart to write him with Conan doing all the talking for him. And he got to build just based solely on his performance, and I think that slow burn of him before he actually ever said anything was a really smart way to do it and roll him out. But yeah, that guy's crazy talented. I mean, you know,
it was amazing. And for some reason, he even says that a lot of people don't realize that he was Prince Puma.
No, I heard that.
With those tattoos, like how?
Yeah, the sleeve and the chest tattoo, but you know, look, suspension of disbelief. Come on, you know, people want to believe, but no, he was. We wouldn't have had a successful season without him. You know, it was like he was super important to the development in the beginning of the show, and we all knew that, and he knew that, but I think we were realistic that he was destined for, you know, bigger and better things, and I don't begrudge him at all. It was great, you know, it was good for him. I'm happy. I'm happy any of those guys are still making money.
Well, and there's a lot of them. Let's talk about this one though. I don't know if you can see that up there. That's Kevin Cross's book, Life is Fighting, which is a phenomenal book, by the way, that I'm sure you would actually like if you haven't had a chance to read it.
Check it out. Yeah,
it deals a lot with kind of that you know, that male mentality and keeping it in the right perspectives, and also his journey through wrestling. But he talks about a really odd thing that we knew about at the time. Like we got to be friends with Cross after that first time that he came in and wrestled Dark. We just loved the guy. We thought we were like, I hope to God you get this job.
When he got knocked out and forgot his promo, was it that one?
Yeah.
Was that that was the boot on his face?
That was
blueprint.
I just remember, like, DJ was so hot on him, and so I went in the control room to watch him, and he did. He had a good match, but his finish, he kind of knocked himself out, and he got up to do the promo, and he just stammered. And this was a dark match, so
right.
It's not out there. And he literally just shit the bed, like didn't say anything he was supposed to say, and ends up just kind of drifting off. And I remember looking at DJ and DJ going, "What the fuck just happened?" And we went back to check on him, and he had knocked himself out and just didn't even remember the finish to the match. So
that's amazing.
So,
well, hey, look, at least he survived, and you guys did eventually bring him back.
Yeah.
So
no, I mean, everybody loved it. And I'll tell you, that guy was such a pro. Like, he was the most gentlemanly, professional. Like, I knew he would fit at WWE. I knew he would get a toehold in there, because he's that guy. He's just he's a soldier, you know. He just yes sir, no sir, everything. Like, whatever you ask him to do, he would do. Like, he was impressive in his just sort of singular focus on being a good wrestler, you know.
Which is part of why I was really surprised that WWE parted ways with him recently, especially after his merch sales were so through the roof. But I found that there's one story that I've always known about that a lot of people don't know about with Cross, is that he would have been on Lucha Underground TV a lot sooner, but you guys actually signed him and then let him go do a WWE tryout. And by then that season was done taping. So he didn't come back until season 4, right? Was when he finally got in.
I honestly don't. I mean, I remember the gimmick he did. He did the White Rabbit, and that was season 4. Yeah. So yeah, he was doing dark matches all through 3, and maybe
3, and then you guys didn't put him into a role then because he was going off for the WWE tryout with your blessing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
which was amazing.
I mean, look, it's pretty. You have to be realistic. It's like, you got to, you know, these careers are short, and if you can come in and get WWE money for 3 of your 10 wrestling years, or however long you have, go for it. Like, we'll help get you there. And as long as, you give us enough time, enough notice, and enough creative sort of like off ramp, I didn't have a problem with anybody. I was never one who were fighting contracts. We had so many people on the roster. If somebody had a better place to be, that just opens up a spot for the next guy. So we had more people on the roster than we had space. I mean, we had a 1 hour show once a week. It's not a lot.
Right.
So if somebody who was getting time wanted to move on, and that left some space for the next guy. And so, like, I saw it more like that, professional athletes, their careers are short. They have to monetize it as much as they possibly can. And I don't begrudge anybody who would do that.
Byron, you got anything you want to throw into EV Dub before I ask my super important last question for him?
Man, it's so long ago. I look at
what have you been doing? What have you been doing? What's going on? Come on, let's catch up.
No. I just these. I don't know if you want to comment on the different incarnations of various aspects of Lucha Underground.
Yeah, I didn't like that, honestly. Like
full disclosure, I have to tell you, I did consult with Conan on that behind the scenes, because he was trying to recapture some of that, and part of the reason why we both washed out of that project was it just wasn't going that direction. I think he even talked to Joseph at one point in time too. Like, Conan was trying to make it happen, but
I worked with someone who was a reality TV producer type who got hired over at MLW. So I sort of knew someone who I think was eventually involved in that venture. I still will say it was horseshit.
I mean, look, it's people are looking for opportunities to cash in on something, and if it was dead with us and somebody wants to come pick the bones, which it felt like a little like, to be honest, that's going to happen. There's nothing I could do. There's no, I wasn't going to get involved in it. Nobody asked me to get involved in it.
Right.
I didn't love it, to be honest. I thought it was kind of like, I thought it was cheapening the brand, they had the Dario character, and like, Luis, get as much money as you can, Luis.
That's also my fault.
Yeah.
Right. I literally am the guy who got them Luis's phone number. I didn't hire him or anything, but they asked, and they're like,
money? Did he earn some good money? I hope.
I think he's still doing it.
He's still doing it. So it's doing something.
I didn't even know they're still doing it. Honestly.
He is still doing it in MLW. He is their figurehead heel boss in MLW, playing the Dario character with a different name.
Yeah, they're not like full on doing a Lucha Underground gimmick, but they've
kind of made it their own gimmick at this point.
Yeah,
now. Like, but that character was clearly Dario.
It's the same thing. It's the same
down
suit.
To the bull on the desk.
We wanted to call him originally Angel Ochoa was going to be his name, but Angel Ochoa is the Angel Wolf. It was the sort of the dichotomy. But Robert Rodriguez's writer had written in the Dario Cueto character, and so we were married to that because he'd already done the IP on it. But we were going in a different. We kind of wanted to go a different direction with it, but that's
it was technically the very first
you.
Lucha Underground character to appear when he showed up at Triple Mania, right? Yeah, I was there for that. That was weird. Like that. That was a weird day.
Was that your first like wrestling?
No,
job?
that was no. I'd
done Tough Enough.
And
Tough Enough, but
that was my first Lucha Underground, first AAA. But we saw so many people down it. That was it was Triple Mania in I forget 2014, 2013. I don't remember, but that's where we met Taya. That's where we saw Drago. There was a ton of guys. As we saw what's his name, Adam Eros. I want to call him by his real name, but
you've never done that before on this show.
I get in trouble when I do that. Adam with the green and and Jack.
You're talking about Angelico.
Angelico.
Yeah,
and Jack.
So good.
Like they were all there, but we couldn't bring them in season 1 because we couldn't load it up with white people. You know, that was sort of that wouldn't have been cool. You know, so we saw them, and like, I'm going to put a pin in that guy. We're bringing him when we can later on. You know, that's kind of how we looked at it.
Well, and Helico, another guy that if he
Oh.
wasn't made out of glass would have probably been the biggest superstar.
That was so
in
heartbreaking.
Lucha Underground. It was completely heartbreaking.
Yeah.
You know, you live by the dive, you die by the dive.
Yeah. High risk.
He is. That's how you know. It's how you know it's going to end. You know, it's like, you know, it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody that guy gets hurt. You know, he's too risky.
Right. Well, and for the record, he seems very happy over at AEW, and he does a lot of he jumps on Spanish commentary quite a bit with them, which is so odd having the South African guy doing the Spanish commentary, but it works. He's good. His Spanish is great. It's perfect.
Yeah, and they're such guys were great. They were so fun.
And he still wrestles on Ring of Honor all the time too. So
yeah, his first match at the Temple, I would just remember being blown away. I just remember, like, that's one that I remember just going, who the fuck is this guy? You know, and we, you know, I think he probably had his best run with us, but you know, yes, like for popularity and for the legacy of who and what he is, it's Lucha Underground. Even crossbody, come on, be crossbody.
I was watching that the other day and I was mad because I was like trying to look at your Twitter or someplace where your account is gone or whatever, because I wanted to find some of the footage of those guys doing it that you had posted at some point in time. Like I have
still be out there somewhere. I'll send it to you.
I have one of the clips.
He wants the one where you see what's his name's face.
I wouldn't post it with his face in it.
Where you had the editors blur it.
Yeah.
It was Penta. Yeah. Because you know, look, if he was unmasked and doing his thing, I wouldn't have cared. But you know,
I know for a fact that I have been in a room with him unmasked, and I could not tell you what he looks like.
Really?
I know what Phoenix looks like. I know what so many of these dudes look like, and have hung out with them out of, you know, character. But for some reason, because he's so plain too. Like he's such a normal dude. And I've seen him a couple times, but his face,
and he's not that tall, and
he would walk into a room without his mask on, and you would not know that this is like one of the biggest, you know, luchadors currently in the world.
Yeah, you wouldn't. But that's a testament to his charisma, because you know, he doesn't have that physique to fall back on. You know,
so putting you on the spot.
All right.
Who was your favorite Lucha Underground champion? Of all of them, who was your fave? Who was the one where you were like, yeah, this has got my heart. This is my sweet spot for this show.
Oh God, it's kind of like picking children, right?
Yes.
Yes, like, I mean, part of me loves the Mil Muertes Katrina era.
Yeah.
You know, just because, and I guess, you know, and I'm still friends with Carly. Like I had lunch with her this week, actually.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I still trade messages with Ricky and like,
I see him a lot at conventions and stuff, and he's still doing the gimmick, which is amazing.
And, you know, just that whole, you know, Haas, big barrel chested luchador, like, you know, and when they took over the Temple and they had the little throne, the skeleton throne and all that stuff, and they got to build to that whole, you know, that whole season built up to him losing it. Like that was like, I think that, and that was, you know, season 2 where we kind of knew what we had. Like, I think that might've been my happiest time, you know, like where every shooting day was so fun and there wasn't a bunch of fucking shit happening and people being held at the borders. And, you know, it was like smooth and it was working and people were loving it. And like, I kind of remember that era being really, really fun and happy. You know,
that was the most fun for me too, because that was when I started coming a lot more. I only came 4 or 5 times the first season.
Yeah.
You know, but that season I came to a lot of tapings. And then the final season I was at every single taping because it took place over 1 month. And I just happened to have a gap in my jobs where literally a week before you started taping that year, I was done with a gig, and 1.5 weeks after the show was done taping for good, I started another gig. Like I just had a month of literally nothing to do. So, and you were doing
Get in line. Yeah.
3 days a week for the last season.
That was so hard. That was so
I mean,
hard.
I was like living at the temple with you guys. I was there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday every week for a month. And my biggest regret from Lucha Underground is that AR Fox was hurt.
Yeah.
And the filming schedule was so short that there was just like he's there at the very beginning, he's there at the very end. His injury was only a 3-week injury.
I think that season would have been a lot different if we'd had him the full time, because we didn't know when we'd get him back, so it was kind of hard to ride him back in. But he was set up to really take over the show, I think, based on what he had done at the end of season 3.
And he was the guy that wanted it at the time. Like people don't necessarily know, like, you know, Swerve was kind of ready to get out from under the hood, and Puma was done with wearing a hood, and Thunder Rosa was kind of over wearing a hood.
Take it, yeah.
Yeah, you know, Marty the Moth was getting his chance to shine at the end, which was great.
I almost said Marty at the belt, by the way, just because I have a sentimental attachment to Marty.
I would say Marty, if it weren't for the fact that after he won the belt, he came outside and we were talking and I was congratulating him, and he goes to shake my hand. But what he does is he places his wet chonies in my hand instead and ribbed me with his nasty wet ball sweat.
Good.
So now I will never claim Marty as my favorite champion now, because that my hand is still soiled from that moment. F you, Marty.
Good old Marty. I love Marty.
Yeah.
Utah boy. Gotta love him.
Yeah. Last time I saw him, we were at Micromania in Vegas. We hung out.
That was recent, right?
Yeah, that was Mania this year. No, that was me and him in WrestleMania. He just got back from Abu Dhabi getting slapped around.
I went to go see the Glow tapings in Vegas like a month ago or 3 weeks ago, because David McLean's a friend, and I helped pitch that show with him. And
it's WOW, by the way. WOW is the new one. Glow's
what
the
did
old
I say?
one.
Oh, I called it Glow. I meant WOW.
I mean, David McLean's behind both of them, but yes, WOW is the current incarnation.
WOW. I went to see the WOW taping in Vegas, and that was fun. I hadn't seen wrestling in years, so it was kind of fun to see that again. And I saw all the stuff from Mascarita Sagrado was there. Like people were saying, "Oh, we just saw Mascarita 2 days ago," and I didn't even know he was there. I would have gone to see him wrestle if I had known he was in town. But it was that Micromania or something.
Yeah, he wrestles for Billy Blade over at Micromania all the time. Like he brings a few of the other minis. Like Billy's taking care of those guys, and they're doing great stuff. And I love that show, and so does Marty. And
yeah, they were fun.
You have to go check it out.
Yeah, that was they weren't originally supposed to be in the show, because the execs, the billionaires above, thought it was too clownish, like him and Pimpy. But then it was like, let's just give them a chance and see what happens. And then when they saw the audience reacting to them, we're like, okay, they can be on the show.
Well, and this really is my final question, where I wanted to end with you, because I don't want to take up too much of your time. And by the way, please come back again sometime. Like, we're doing this thing again, so we'll have to chop it up.
I've got something brewing down next year that I might need to help plug. So
you keep us in mind, because you always have a home here. But so my last question, and this is where people are at right now. Like, you guys, what you did with Lucha Underground, I think changed the landscape of professional wrestling the same way that ECW did. Like, they weren't competing with WCW and WWE, but they were influencing them so strongly back then. And I don't think right now we would have, Bandito as the Ring of Honor and tag team champion right now. I don't think we would have the Pentas and Phoenixes in WWE or these people making a big splash. You don't get Thunder Rosa being the AEW world, champion and NWA champion. You don't get some of these things without Lucha Underground. That really brought Lucha Libre into acceptance, first on the indie scene here, and then now on a global stage. But WWE has just purchased AAA. So do you feel like they're going to be able to accomplish what you guys did, or are they going to be too restricted? Like, you guys were able to do men wrestling women in your universe. You guys were able to bring Pimpy and the minis and Mascarita and have some of those comedy elements that might be not okay in the States now. Like, what is your opinion of what WWE has as a resource now that they own fully AAA.
I would love to be super positive about it, but I don't think I will be.
Okay.
There's very few instances where corporate America makes creativity better, you know. And when you're selling Subway sandwiches on your show, you're not going to let a guy hit a woman in the face with a chair. You're just not. We had nothing to lose. We had
Cricket Wireless was okay with that.
you kidding? Have you tried Cricket Wireless? So we did what we did out of necessity. You know, we ran out of people. We needed Sexy Star to come in and do a run in because there was nobody else in the back. So like so much of the shit that we did, I'd love to say it was creative genius, but a lot of it was just out of fucking necessity. Like we had to do something, and they have too many options over there at WWE, so they don't have that hunger of like, well, what the fuck are we going to do this week? We've got 3 shows to shoot in one day. You know, how do we make the most of this? And you know, they do have, and look, things may have changed over there since Vince departed. You know, it seems like maybe that's probably it, but they're a $1 billion company. There's a board of directors. There's sponsorships. There's a whole floor of lawyers in the Death Star there in Stanford. You know, it's like we were just like this little group of, you know, shitheads that just kind of wanted to have fun, and nobody was minding the store. So you know, it was Chris and Chris were coming up with the craziest shit, and my job was to get it past the owners and to get. You
mean Pentagon in a sex dungeon was crazy? I don't know.
Oh, that was so good.
Now, I'll say that a lot of the shit we got away with was thanks to Skip Chasen, because that dude has some darkness in him somewhere. And
but he makes it look so sexy. He makes everything look.
And he's such a nerd for like those great classic like Shaw Brothers martial arts movies and horror movies, and he's just got this amazing. You know, the stuff he would come up with he took, you know, something on the page and you know, it looked like a B scene, and he would just find 3 shots to shoot differently that we weren't expecting, and he would elevate it to this just A+ stuff. So it was like, you know, his creativity, you know, with Chris's writing was just, you know, it was just kind of magical in a lot of ways. It was just like, you'd see this, we'd sit down to screen this stuff, and I'd be like, how are we producing this? It's crazy. It's too much. It's out there. And yet nobody was telling us no, you know, and I had a good relationship with the MGM lawyers, and I could usually talk my way I'm good at talking my way into shit. And you know, we just didn't have a whole lot of guardrails. So we got away with so much stuff. And I just don't know that exists at WWE. You know, I mean, it'd be awesome if they could just take that part and create their own team that's away from everybody else, but I don't think that's how they work over there. I think
no, it feels like it was that way for a couple of weeks, and they sent Jeremy Borash, who did all of the Matt Hardy delete stuff and all that crap. They sent him down there. He's friends with Conan, and I feel like they got it kicked off to a good start, but now they're back kind of under the company radar, and it's business as usual now so far. So, but we'll see.
They've got shareholders.
I love your old stories about how many lawyers you went through, how short of a time they would last on that show. They'd come
mostly because of me, I think. Yeah.
Like this kid out of college, it's like their first like gig at the firm or whatever. They show up to the temple.
Yeah, I was 20 something years in, and I want to print out my email. I could do a book of just of emails to lawyers where I would dissect their note and just make them look completely foolish, and it was just like a sport because I had nothing else to do. But it was like, we went through a lot, and the MGM was kind of a lawyer factory, and so if they could survive a couple of months on Lucha Underground, then they get to go to Survivor, or they get to go to
right. You guys were the perfect testing ground.
Yeah.
But if they could get past us and we didn't kill them, then they usually could survive at the company. So
well, I still have love for Sparkles coming out and getting hit with the bodily fluids thing.
And the turnover was part of what made things work, because there was nobody there that remembered that we tried this in the first season. So we would just feign ignorance, like I don't know what you're talking about. We never did that before. And so because there was no continuity between the MGM lawyers, we could pull the same shit on the next progressive one. So it was a unique situation. I love Mark Burnett, and he just let us do what we wanted to do. And he had so many other things to worry about that he was not going to be concerned with what this crazy.
Well, he trusts you. You've made the guy a couple of bucks here and there, so let's just.
A lot of people have contributed to building that company, but Mark knows what he doesn't know, and he is the best boss to work for when it comes to, okay, you've proven that I can trust you, and now I'm going to let you do what you do, and I'm going to stay out of your way. So he was that. It was great.
Well, you've proven that we can trust you as well too. I love the Tough Enough stuff you did. I'm a huge fan of the Contender. No
love for Legends House. Come on, man.
I never watched Legends House. I never watched it.
Oh,
I'll be completely honest. I never watched it.
Remember Brandon, your camera up?
Yeah.
I worked with him on Live Rescue.
Yeah,
he was great.
Yeah.
We'd wear wrestling shirts every day. We'd give the firefighters we filmed with, like, one guy's name was almost Jay White, so we called him Jay White anyway. We would just talk wrestling all the time. It was so much fun.
Brandon, I love Brandon, and he worked on every wrestling show, because he would like, okay, John Cena showing up to Tough Enough this day, and Brandon shows up on a John Cena.
Well, let's be honest. He's one of the things that is missing, I think, from some of the wrestling coverage that's out there right now, because they're like pushing in when the guys are talking in the ring instead of zooming out to the, and Brandon always knew. We called him Brandon Bump Cam, because he would take bumps as a cameraman. Like,
he got kicked in the face by Phoenix.
Yeah,
and would get the shot. Like, that was part of the family of Lucha Underground. We would just
every second of it, and would not complain to the union. He was like, Brandon was the best. We could use 10 Brandons. He was fun. He was definitely fun. And
it was amazing. Well, again, I love all of your shows in this world. I hope that you get to do some more, things like this in the future, because we could all use another Lucha Underground in our lives. Not that we need more wrestling on television. Honestly, I don't know if we do.
I think Bully Beatdown is ready for a reboot too. That's the one I think we need to put back.
Let's talk to Mayhem.
I talk to Mayhem all the time. He's doing great. Yeah.
I love Mayhem. I haven't talked to Mayhem in probably 6-7 years now, but he seems like he's in a really good place now, and he is really damn entertaining. If you guys aren't following Jason Mayhem Miller on social media, follow that man. Give that man some love, because he is, and has always been, pure entertainment. It's just a little more sane now.
He deserves a comeback. He deserves it.
Yeah. Well, hey, you need somebody to work on that one. Call me up. I'll be the PA. I don't care. I'll work. Right. I'll work for you guys if you do something with Mayhem, man.
Okay.
But Eric, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. This is what MMM Show's always been about. It was a show that was built on celebrating this man's work and his colleagues' work, and we're still doing it to this day somehow, almost 10 years later. I mean, Lucha Underground's almost 10 years old. I think 10 years old next month or something. And
we had already shot 10 years ago. We were airing in 20, like we shot the first
15.
We shot the first one in, was it 2015? September of 2015? Is that what it was?
Yeah. Well, I know we're at over 9.5 years that we've been doing this show. So Lucha Underground's, probably over 10.
I was 14. Yeah, it's been 10 years since we did it. That's for sure. Like, we were on the air 10 years ago. Yeah. It's crazy.
Well, it's amazing to catch up with you. And again, anytime you want to stop by, you got something to plug. If you just were like, yeah, man, I was thinking about this thing from Lucha Underground, you know where to come, man. We always got you.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years. Glad to hear everything's going okay.
Appreciate you, brother. And thank you, everybody, for watching episode 200. And until next time, stay calm and stay in the mix.